mid-season episode. There's some real action supposed to happen finally.
What are we talking
But
about?
then I haven't watched it, so the new Halo episode.
Oh no, we can't keep talking about Halo.
We're talking about Babylon 9.
Babylon what?
9.
Babylon 9.
Babylon 9? What?
What?
That's it, wait.
Oh,
No,
what?
Deep Space 9.
What?
I'm getting my space shit mixed up. I'm sorry.
I get the Babylon.
Move on.
No, what's the 9 from?
It's Deep Space 9. I think I got them confused.
Deep Space Babylon's Halo 9.
Please put this as the
It's fun talk.
entrance to
It's fun talking to Stephen.
intro.
You never quite know where you're going to end up, and you never know how you got there.
Yes, Steve's like a box of chocolates. He just mouth opens. What's it gonna be? Well, luckily I was actually recording that. Hello, everybody.
No!
Oh, your tears
No,
make me so
restart, please.
happy.
Please restart.
Welcome to the podcast, everybody. My name is BottlerWorks, aka Joshua, and we're back for another week of talking about video games. We haven't been here for a couple of weeks now. We had to miss a week because of scheduling, so there's quite a lot to talk about. We've got new World of Warcraft expansions. We've got a whole bunch of games dropping release dates, Minecraft movies. I'm here with the three usual lot. Olive Meister Will.
Hello, I'm Olive Meister, or Will, and I'm still watching Halo, but I won't talk about it.
With Quikwix Steve.
Hi, I'm Quikwix, but you can call me Steve because Quikwix is a bit of a mouthful, or so I'm told.
And Sammeh.
Jesus.
What?
I'm Sam.
He works so hard to get around to these jokes, doesn't he? It's like he sets them up all by himself.
He asked
No,
me for permission for that one.
I did for that one.
He was like, please, can I make a penis joke on the intro to the podcast? And I was like,
Yeah, he got
Yeah,
permission,
fine.
and that's what you came up with.
it could have been anything, and that's what we're left with.
Wow.
How are you three?
Okay, I'll step it up for next week. Don't
It's
worry.
good to see nothing's changed in the 2 weeks we have.
I'd be pretty shocked if 2 weeks pass and he comes back a different person.
We can only hope.
Wow.
So 2 weeks have passed. You've all played lots of stuff, surely.
Yep.
I've played some stuff, yeah.
I've played quite a few bits this week. Who's like frothing at the mouth to talk about what they've been up to? Absolutely no one. I guess I'll start then.
Yeah, go for it.
You need to point at someone because I don't want to jump in.
I am. I was
imagine
pointing at
everyone else
you.
needs-
Did you not see me wink?
Oh,
I couldn't have made it any more obvious.
here's
Will.
what you go, Josh. What have you been playing this week?
No, because that's insanity.
I'm taking over.
That's
This is my episode.
Oh shit!
Oh, I thought you were referring to me telling Josh what he's been doing. I was like,
Oh
okay.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, people don't know whose voice is whose. Let's just confuse everyone and start
Yeah.
calling each other different names.
Welcome
Yeah,
to the
yeah.
podcast, everybody. I hear you've had a lot to play, Josh. How's it been? Oh, thank you very much for asking. Yeah, I've been playing quite a lot this week. I'll go into like the first one that I finished, which actually ties into this Radahn festival on the screen. I finally finished Elden Ring. Like,
Oh,
nice.
Yeah, I've hit credits. I don't understand it, or I didn't at the time. Had to watch all
Yep.
the like lore videos.
As is from Soft Games. Yep.
But I did it. I hit credits. I think I'm ready to give like an opinion on it without. I don't have to spoil anything because it's nothing about the ending that I need to talk about. But I think how long ago, Will, was it when you finished?
Like a week out. I don't know. Like a month ago.
Because you said,
Couple months?
yeah, you said when you first finished it that you thought it was your least favorite FromSoft game.
I think yes. Yeah.
How do you
Yeah, I
feel?
stand by that, yeah.
How do you? I was going to say, how do you feel about that now that time has passed?
I have the urge to go back to it, but also I've never actually gotten around to going back to it. So maybe that says something about the game in that I actually don't really feel the need to go back and play more. I do kind of want to, but every time I go to boot it up, I just find something else to do.
Yeah.
And I think I still stand by it. I think the biggest problem is I was expecting a big departure from Dark Souls, and it's not. It's just Dark Souls.
It's just open world Dark Souls.
Which is fine, but it's open. Yeah, which is fine, but it's like I was sort of expecting like, another Sekiro or another Bloodborne or something.
Yeah, because the reason I ask is because I think I've come to the same conclusion where it's a fantastic game and I really enjoyed it, but I think it's my least favorite out of all of them.
Yeah.
It's got, I think, some of the cooler looking bosses I've seen out of the Souls games, but some of my least favorite fights, despite them looking really cool. Yeah. A lot of the boss fights I came away thinking, that boss looks awesome. I love the music is insane. The actual looks of the fight is insane, but I'm not really having any fun trying to figure out this boss.
Yeah, it's the like run up of gauntlet of bosses at the end of the game where for some reason you end up fighting like it's like back to back to back like 4 or 5 bosses, right? Is what it felt like. And by the end of it I was like I can't be bothered to learn how long I have to wait. Like instead of rolling immediately, I have to learn, no, this is the one where you wait half a second and then roll or he'll catch you. This is the one where he hangs in the air for an impossible amount of time before he comes down. So you have to wait until he's about to dive before you roll. And it's just, it was just exhausting. I was like, it put like a really sour taste in my mouth at the end of the while I was watching the credits, because I was like, I'm so glad that game is over. And I haven't felt like that with a Souls game before.
I had the exact same thing where I was right at the end of the game, and I hadn't spoiled it, but I did a thing that I occasionally do, where when I'm getting kind of tired, I just kind of Google, like, okay, how far am I actually away from the ending? Like, can I blast through this tonight? And I think it was like 10 p.m. or something, and I had work the next day, so I would have been going to bed in like half an hour, and I had 2 bosses left, and I was like, okay, I'm just going to get this done tonight. I'm just going to burst it. And I honestly think if I hadn't have finished it that night, I don't think I would have finished the game full stop. At least not this week. But I would have taken like a long break despite being right at the end, because I was just a bit frustrated with it, and I don't really like the fights. Like you say, it's a bit relentless towards the end. And it was, like I said, it was late at night, so I was pretty tired. It's half of it's my own fault, I'm pretty sure, as to why I didn't enjoy this.
But I think back to when we talked about long ago, before lockdown, before this podcast, we all played through Sekiro about the same time.
Yeah.
Well, by we all, I mean like a couple of us on our Discord. No, not Steve. But I remember us all talking about the last boss in that game and how we were like, it took me like 3 hours, and by the end of it, I could do it with my eyes closed, and it felt so fun to be like, oh, and then he does that move, and it's like, and you get into the flow of it and stuff. And I remember coming off of Sekiro, like, what a fucking ride that whole game was.
I love Sekiro. I love that game.
And you said at the time, you were like, I think it's my favorite from Soft game.
Yeah.
I wish they made more stuff like this, like less RPG stuff. And I was like, and I kind of, after playing, I didn't really agree with you at the time, but after playing Elden Ring, I'm like, if that's the sort of level of like aggression the bosses and movesets are going to have going forward, I would prefer if it just make Sekiro again, or make a more restricted but tight combat system, because I felt so unequipped fighting some of those bosses towards the end of the game. They just attack for so long, and so like everything one-shots you. I was playing like a heavy tanky kind of build, and I was like, what was the point in all this armor and investing in health? I'm still getting one-shot by everything. It's bullshit.
It was. I was talking to Matt about it a little bit. Matt being Steve's brother, and I was saying how I prefer Sekiro, and he said I don't know the exact thing he said, but it was something like he found Sekiro more restrictive, because obviously you can't make tons of builds, and there's only a handful of weapons. And coming away from it and thinking about it, I think that's why I enjoy it more, because I am more of a fan of like Devil May Cry or Bayonetta, where there is literally, there's like, maybe like 6-7 different play styles or like weapons.
Yeah.
And that's it. Because a game like Elden Ring is great in the fact that two people can play the game and have entirely different like builds and play styles.
Mm-hmm.
But I'd rather have a more it's like set in stone style that the game wants me to play and focus everything around that.
Yeah. But well, I think it's fine, right? You can have builds and build diversity and stuff, but I felt for a significant portion of that game, mainly the back half, that after playing through all of Souls 1 to 3, dabbling in Demon Souls, playing Bloodborne, like I play those games a certain way, and this is the first one where I felt like the game was going like, no, you're doing it wrong, mate. Like it was like being just hostile to the way I wanted to play it. And I've seen a lot of people say like, well, that's because you need to use summons and you need to use magic and stuff. And that's fine. I understand that, but that's not a game I want to play.
I was playing straight up sorcerer and was still having a not fun time.
Yes.
All right, okay.
Because it's just like, I think if obviously if you're in their face with armor and swords, it's like, what the fuck? They just attack me and my armor doesn't do anything. But then if you play sorcerer, you have a similar problem where a lot of the bosses are just insta kills and it's easy. But some of the later ones, they jump you and you have to roll correctly, or you get like one shot even with like 40 vigor and like stuff like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think there's a few other like odd things with the game that I'm surprised that they didn't really like capitalize on. I thought, in retrospect, now that I've been sitting on the ending a little bit and the gameplay and stuff, I'm surprised they didn't do like much more with the horse. I thought they could have done a little bit more with that.
Yeah, I'm not finished with the game yet, but I still feel like the horse, they could have done a little bit more with it. Just like maybe
its
in the
own
DLC.
upgrade tree or something.
Yeah, just something, just even minor, like a few upgrades. So it's like, okay, now your horse can jump a little higher, or maybe it can triple jump, or just some stuff like that.
Cash up cosmetic DLC for it.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, that's what
something
we need.
like that. Yeah,
horse armor.
And there's a couple of late game bosses where I'm like, do you want me to use the horse here? Like, it feels like but also as soon as I get on the horse, I lose all my like iframes on my dodge. He has like no health, and if he dies, it's basically a death sentence because you get knocked off your horse and your guy just like pancakes there for a good
precision movement.
What feels like forever.
Yeah, precision movement is just impossible with the horse as well. Yeah, it's like if you want to suddenly change direction, it's just like, nope, that's not happening.
Don't use the horse. You see, because when you summon friends in, no one is allowed on the horse. So
that's funny, because Sam's playing a whole different game where he just uses summons, right?
There are mobs which are obviously mounted enemies, which you're supposed to do, like, mounted versus mounted combat.
Yeah.
And we can't do that, so we're just there, just like, stay still, you fuck!
I reckon there's only one boss where I think horse was probably mandatory. It's towards the end, and it's straight up in a big field. And I'm not going to spoil anything because you're not there yet, but...
Yeah. I have just gone through Hogwarts.
Yeah. Good old Hogwarts.
Good old Hogwarts,
Right, so how non-spoilery are we being? Because I have my biggest genuine, like, what the fuck is going on moment now.
Well, you're the furthest behind, so we'll just go
it's
by
dictated
you.
by you. I think Steve said that he's under the Erd Tree, which isn't a spoiler.
Steve's through, he's through the capital. Yeah, he's finished that area.
Renala, right?
Yeah.
Great and all, right? I get it. Like, powerful witch, whatever, blah, blah, blah. I kill her.
Yep.
But I haven't killed her. I'm now fighting the real her.
Yeah.
And then I kill her.
Yeah.
And then she's just there, and now we're friends?
Yep.
I don't...
what's the problem?
What's the problem?
And I'm just like... Right? Okay.
What's the problem? I remember playing Dark Souls 2. I think it's Dark Souls 2, and I killed the final boss, and I had no clue what was going on. And my dude went into a cave sat on a chair,
Yeah.
and then a boulder or like a cave door closed, and then it
Yeah.
faded to black, and the game ended.
You sat on the throne of one. That's the ending.
But that's what I mean. I don't...
Here's my biggest thing, right? Is Stormvale Castle, the first like proper dungeon thing, was sick.
Yeah.
Hogwarts was disappointing.
I liked a lot of Hogwarts.
I like the Hogwarts
so
aesthetically.
when you're multiplayer, from what the people I'm playing with kept saying, is like, we can't go on the roof and do all the roof bits. Literally, the game will not let you do that multiplayer. You have to do that solo.
Oh, really?
Hey?
That's a shame.
So Hogwarts was over in like 5 minutes.
Yeah.
You just run through the courtyard, run past the boulder, kill the sword and shield guy. Up you go, and then you're basically there.
But Hogwarts
I
has
spent
loads.
I spent like a full couple sessions in Hogwarts.
Yeah, you can go on the rooftops. You can go. You can go under.
Go
I
on the
think.
rooftops multiplayer.
They're just
in what way? It just doesn't.
There's no section for
You
it.
physically cannot put your sign down. You cannot summon.
What? That's
And
weird.
like,
I didn't know that.
I'm almost at the point. I haven't told my companions yet. I'm almost at the point of dropping Elden Ring.
Yeah.
Wow.
Like, I'm having fun playing with my friends. I'm not having fun playing the game. I'd rather try and find a game that all three of us could play and have fun with, because I know that there's games out there that we could play, have just as much fun, but actually enjoy the game at the same time.
It's like,
I'm just playing it, and I'm like, yeah, this is more Dark Souls.
Well, that's
I'd rather go back and play Dark Souls 1, but
that's what I was thinking, which is, if you're at Hogwarts and you've done Stormvale Castle and you're doing Hogwarts and you're thinking about dropping it because you're not having fun or whatever, I don't think there's anything I can tell you that's coming up that would change your mind to be like, keep playing, oh my god. Because, like you say, it's just, if you're after cool looking bosses and stuff, that is there. Yeah. But it is the Souls loop.
It's still in the like power fantasy thing, right?
Yeah,
which is cool. Like I feel strong, and like I get to cast all my incantations and shit, which I'm enjoying. And I've just talked to a turtle that's taught me more spells.
Oh
like, that turtle's cool.
Oh yeah.
He's the coolest character by far.
Yeah, turtle's a bro. Yeah.
But yeah, I'm just. Every time I'm in the open world, I'm just there, just like, right, okay. It doesn't feel like it serves a purpose.
Every point I was in the open world, I just couldn't wait to get to some more structured stuff. At which point, it's just like, what? Like, Elden Ring's good, but I'd rather have a normal Dark Souls game. I think that's just structured content.
Yeah, and then it's like, right, well, here's a site of grace, and then it's like, walk 10 seconds. Okay, here's a site of grace. Okay, walk 10 seconds.
Oh, the amount
here's a site of grace.
I don't think we talked about that before, but yeah, the site of grace spam in this is pretty ridiculous in places.
I like it. I like when compared to playing through Dark Souls 1, where it's like, oh, it feels like a struggle to get to the next site, like bonfire.
Yeah,
I like that. I'm like, oh yeah, it's not so
I will
punishing.
say I'm having the opposite. I have not felt. Now I know I'm playing multiplayer, so I know it's a completely different game. I have not felt tested.
No.
Yeah. Yeah.
We get invaded. I get invaded regularly. That's great. I've only successfully killed about 2 or 3 of them because the other 8 just disconnect within the first 15 seconds of them connecting. So again, it's like, oh, this guy's invaded us and he's got some ridiculous frostbite PvP build that I don't even know what those elements are yet. I haven't experienced them. And he's gone. He's walking off into the sunset because he's disconnected.
I didn't get a single invade in my entire playthrough.
You don't get them unless you're multiplayer.
But what do you mean unless you're multiplayer? You have to be
unless
playing
you've
multiplayer.
Got another win. Yeah.
Oh really?
Yeah.
But it's not like Dark Souls or whatever, where you can just, as long as you've got humanity or whatever, you can just be invaded.
No, there's an item you can get later on, I think, where you can say, hey, you can invade me anytime, I think.
Because I wondered where that was. because it just
Like
never happened.
we'll play for like a session of 3 hours or something, and I'll be invaded like 20, 30 times. And
Damn.
that's the coolest bit about Elden Ring at the
Yeah.
moment. Is just we'll be like, oh, okay, we're gonna head over to this dungeon, and like we'll be invaded like 4 times along the way.
Yeah.
That's what makes the open world bit okay. But even then, it's like I'm just like, if I was just in a really well thought out level, I'd
Yeah,
enjoy it so
yeah.
much more. Because the invades that happened in Hogwarts were a lot cooler. Because like one dude was like, "Well, I'm gonna stand in the safe spot of the boulder, and now you guys have to come to me while I rain down
that's pretty
spells
cool. That's pretty
upon
cool.
you."
Yeah.
I have a question for those who don't like the open world. Have you played Breath of the Wild? Because I'm like, do you like that?
Yeah.
Did you like Breath of the Wild and not Elden Ring? You know.
Breath of the Wild. I don't know. I guess the open world just seemed more interesting in Breath of the Wild. I think that they're both very similar in that they're both designed to be like, if you see something interesting, go check it out because it will probably be something interesting. But I think what I found with Elden Ring is I played in a way that I didn't really want to miss anything, even if it was like open world stuff. So I would open the map, and when I had the map unlocked by picking it up physically, you can see the map from top down.
Yeah.
I would put a marker on everything that looked interesting. So if there's like a little ruin of a building, put a marker by it. If there's a whole like foresty area, but on the map there's like a little opening, I'm like, okay, that's probably a thing. Put a marker on it. And 9 times out of 10 there would be something on the marker. But I think towards the end I realised that they were all like useful, I guess. If they're churches or whatever, they give you more Estus and stuff. But not many of them were actually interesting. It's like you go to this building, because I marked on my map, it's like a little building, and it was just like another church, and with a grace, and then you take it and you get your thing and you move on. And I don't know. I guess I think in hindsight, again, it's been a very long time. I remember Breath of the Wild being very similar but a lot more interesting.
No, I think I'm the same as you. I think there was a lot of stuff like you could look out on the horizon and be like, there's something over there. I want to check that out. And there was. It's funny though because they're very similar setup in that when you actually found something in Breath of the Wild, most of the time it was one of those mini, like challenge rooms. I don't know
like
what they were.
A shrine.
Shrine, is that what they were called? Yeah, and that was to get more health. So it was similar to the like dungeon thing in Elden Ring, but I don't know. I guess the world was just a bit more interesting in Breath of the Wild compared to Elden Ring.
I know that I read an interview a long time ago that Breath of the Wild was designed so that from the very start of the game, or I guess when you get the paraglider and it truly opens up. From the very start of the game, you can see points of interest, and the game is designed in a way that from every single point of interest, you can see another point of interest.
Yeah.
And you can perpetually just keep looking for weird stuff that you see on the horizon. Whereas in the end, Elden Ring just it's open world, but they ended up feeling like just sort of big-ish zones that had clear objectives and markers in them, like your churches and stuff. And to me, it kind of feels like at the start, it was like, oh, this is so interesting because there's no map markers. I don't know what's going on or what's where and da 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 da. But towards the end, it felt like most other open world games, just without the map markers.
Yeah.
So there's like a cave here. Oh, I know what that'll be. That'll be one of the little underground, what do you call them, like shrines or whatever. And I don't know. I feel like I'm just nitpicking because it's still a good game. But
I think that's it. It's like the game is so good that it does so many things well that the only interesting things to talk about are the things the places where you feel like it's not as good as previous Souls games or why it's not as interesting. There's
And a few other things that stood out to me that I'd like to see them improve, either in like DLC or a sequel, because that's not like joke. There will be a sequel.
Yeah.
This is the first game that adds like proper jumping outside of Sekiro. It's the first like Souls game, but none of the bosses really, apart from one from memory, really have any interesting things to do with the jump.
It's also super inconsistent. I found when because they when you're talking about Godric, right?
Yes,
Godfrey,
God something.
God, one of them. The many-armed guy. He has a slam move which you can jump over, but it comes out very fast, and I found it was very difficult to consistely jump it. It was easier to just run away.
I'm talking about the one. I'm talking about a different one. There's one towards the end. I'm not going to spoil anything specific.
Oh, I know. He does lots of slams.
He does a foot slam.
Yes. Yeah.
And you have to jump it. But yeah, it's a new Souls game that has quite a lot of verticality when you think about it. But every fight still takes place in a flat arena.
Yeah.
And it would have been interesting to see. I don't know.
I see. I see what you mean. Yeah.
There's lots of hiding behind pillars and stuff like that, but nothing where it's like, oh, okay, jump up to this part of the arena now for the fight.
Do a little platform. You want like a Hollow Knight style platforming boss.
Yeah, not necessarily like hardcore platforming, but just something that wasn't a circular arena or an open field.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's all I really have to say about Elden Ring. I got towards the end and then just straight lined it. Because
do you think you're gonna try again, like another character, or are you done?
I have
for now.
Already returned it because it was a rental.
Oh right. Oh, I didn't know that. I didn't know it was a rental.
Yeah, I had that for a long old time. Ever since it came out, I was hanging on to it. I probably should have just bought it, to be honest. I would like to revisit it when DLC drops for sure.
Yeah.
I don't know if I've got it in me to do a whole new playthrough just for DLC, so I might just carry on the character.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm looking forward to playing some more of that.
Did you do everything, like in air quotes, as much as you can in a FromSoft game?
I did everything except for one area of the map, which is directly north, top of the map, very very top.
Oh yeah,
okay.
yeah.
I looked it up and it was like some secret elevator or something, and I was like, I didn't really care for it, so I'll watch it on YouTube at some point. I think there is an important boss up there.
There is, yeah.
But again, I'll do it another time, or like in the future if there's DLC, I'll get around to doing that bit as well.
So have you played anything else this week, Josh?
Yeah, I played one other game, which I won't go crazy into because there's not a whole lot about it to really talk about. But as of literally this afternoon, I have played and completed Kirby and the Forgotten Land.
Ooh. Oh, nice. Wait, didn't you say that? I feel like we've talked about Kirby on and off for like weeks now.
So I think we have been talking about it on and off. We played the demo.
Yeah, the demo.
Both me and Steve played the demo.
Oh, that might be what I'm thinking.
And we were just like, what is this? Like,
it's kind of basic. The demo was a bit basic, but it was like the first couple levels. So
yeah, the biggest thing I'll say is for some reason I had it in my head that a lot of the levels were more open.
Same.
The whole game is linear. It's corridor platforming, except for maybe like one level. So I don't know. I don't know where that came from at all. But it's a really solid just Kirby platformer. Really, it's took me about maybe 12 hours to finish. I've got a little bit of post game stuff to do.
Did you do single player or multiplayer?
I did the whole thing single player.
Okay.
I tried to get Laura to play it with me, but she didn't really want to. So I was like, okay, I'll just play it on my own. Compared to other Kirby games, if anybody's played them before, there's not as many copy abilities, which is a bit of a shame. Usually, the whole deal with Kirby is you eat enemies and gain their moves, basically. If you've ever played Smash Bros, because not all people played Kirby, but people played Smash Bros. Kirby's ability where he eats you and takes your moves, that's what he does in the games.
Yeah.
There's only, I think, 10 in this game, whereas other games had 20 to 25.
Yeah.
But the thing with this game's kind of gimmick, is that you can upgrade them and make them stronger, and their like properties get changed slightly, which is interesting, but it's still the same move.
Yeah.
Which is kind of a
But
shame.
you also have the big mouth mode, right?
So
as well?
you have mouthful mode, which is it's so dumb, but I actually love it. I think it's brilliant. It's contextual to the levels. So whereas you can take your normal abilities in and out of levels, you'll get to a platforming bit and you have to become the car, or you have to do something like that. So there are a couple of really good ones. There's Light Bulb Kirby is horrific. Let me find that. It's the most like cursed looking one, I think. If anyone's watching as opposed to listening,
Oh my god,
it's so hot. It's so horrifying. Like mouth Kirby and a light bulb. There's I think it's like
light in his mouth.
it's like O mouth Kirby or something. Like
Oh god.
circle Kirby face, mouthful.
circle Kirby face.
Circle Kirby face, mouthful. There's that one. There's that one.
So, oh my god, what the fuck is that?
So that one is it's basically just like a sign.
Is that a swimming pool? Oh right.
There's a sign that's just like the letter O in a sign, and you eat it, and you turn into that, and then you can shoot air out. Imagine like someone pulling him from the back of his face.
Oh, like an air cannon.
Like an air cannon. You become an air cannon, and you can
I
jump on
remember those air
boat. You can jump on boats and stuff. It's really cool. Does anyone mind if I spoil?
I could not.
Oh my
give a
god, those
shit.
Kirby spoilers.
Do you care, Steve?
I don't care.
Right, so anyone that does care, you can skip forward to the next part of the podcast, but I'll give you a few seconds. But yeah, so I have finished it. The ending to the game is... Why am I on Elden Ring? The ending to the game is everything that it always is, which is it starts off all cutesy and like, oh, Kirby going through weird, cute apocalypse land, and you end up fighting God in space again, basically. You mouthful mode onto an 18-wheeler, and you ride along buildings that are being picked up by the final god enemy in space, and you drive along them whilst the fabric of reality tears around you.
This sounds sick.
It is so good, and every Kirby game ends this way, which is why it's so brilliant. You get to like, there's always like 6 worlds, and you get to world 5, and you're like in cutesy snowland, and you're like, right, we've got 5 levels until we somehow get to fighting God in space. and they do it every time. You defeat the final boss, or the second to last boss, and it's King DDD, and he's like brain controlled or something. He's wearing like a mask or something, and then you go in a lift, you go underground. Some AI voice explains to you about how humans found a being that allowed them to teleport and break the fabric of reality, and you get off the elevator and the AI voice basically goes, well, here it is. And then it breaks free, and then you fight God in space. It's so bizarre. But it's really good. It's got some really interesting visuals for the finale. Yeah, I had a really fun time. Same thing as always, finished it and was like glad I rented it. Because
how long was it roughly?
About 12 hours for close to 100% completion, and
that's not bad.
It's okay, but you've got to like these types of games because it's just a baby platformer basically.
Kirby's thing is inhaling things and taking their abilities. Mario's thing is now throw his hat and take things abilities. Did you feel like, was this like a bit of Odyssey 1.5 Odyssey 2 when you played this?
It feels like if you were to strip down Odyssey, and just make it like Corridor, then you could,
and easier as well.
Yeah, the Kirby has got a certain aesthetic to it as well, which makes it very Kirby. I think Nintendo's very good at that, right? You can point to certain games and be like, that is a Nintendo game. Most of the fun from Kirby is from its charm. When he eats a fucking light bulb, and you're like, oh, that's cool, I guess. But yeah, I'm glad I got around to playing it.
Nice.
Give it maybe like 8 out of 10 if you like these games.
That's
pretty
big.
high.
Yeah, it's one of the better Kirby games. It's not the best. The best one is the Super Nintendo one from like 30 years ago. It always will be. But yeah, those are the two things I played this week.
Oh, nice.
So yeah, who wants? Let's go straight to Will. Let's keep it.
Hello. I don't know where I was going with that. So I went home to visit my folks. So I needed a mobile game, not a game I can play on the move. I needed a Switch game. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So I signed up. Josh gave me a referral code to his rental thing because I was like, I'm not gonna pay for a Switch game. Good lord, not made of money. And I added a bunch of games to the queue, and they sent me Pokemon Snap, and I was like, fuck yeah, I'll play some Pokemon Snap.
Oh yeah,
And
Pokemon
Aaron,
Snap.
I was like, Aaron, yeah, we're gonna get Pokemon Snap on my parents' TV. We'll play some, chill on the sofa. We were house sitting. It's not like I was just ignoring my parents. But then, so I think I was chatting to Josh at the time, and I was like, hey, I got an email. They sent out Pokemon Snap. That's great. And then we stopped talking, and about an hour later, they were like, thanks for sending back Pokemon Snap. And I was like, what? So I emailed them. I was like, hey, are you sending me Pokemon Snap? Am I sending you? What's going on here? And they were like, oh yeah, we lost that. Here's Pikmin 3 instead. So I haven't played Pokemon Snap. I've played Pikmin 3.
The bait. Oh my god. I knew you'd played Pikmin as well. I don't know why I looked that up. It's okay. You got the better game.
I don't really know. Yeah, well, that's what I've heard. I don't really know what I can add to the buzzing Pikmin 3 discussion that's going on like constantly on the internet. That game's fun. I've always like wanted to play a Pikmin game, and it's just one of those series that's just I've never been like I got a GameCube super late, and I never got around to playing Pikmin. I never had a Wii U was the next one.
This is what
right?
Pikmin 3 was on the Wii U, and it got a Switch port. Yeah.
Oh right, okay. Oh, I didn't know that. So I've always kind of been. So I'm jumping in straight at number 3. I presumed I didn't need to know the deep lore.
I don't think I don't think you need to.
So yeah, I knew basically you get little guys and you kind of RTS battle your way through some like charming garden scenery. I didn't expect it to be as weirdly like what's the term? You know, like when you watch a David Attenborough nature documentary and it's like, oh, that hippo's like, aren't the hippos cute? And then it like fucks up a deer or something and eats it whole, and you're like, well, I mean, it's nature, right? I didn't realize how sort of brutally natural this game is in so like you'll come up to an enemy, the enemy will be like, oh fuck yeah, Pikmin, and it'll just like hoover up like a handful of them into its mouth and just and it's like, oh, those Pikmin are just dead forever now. And there's a little tracker that'll constantly update and say, you lost 10 today, so now you're on 263. And I'm like, damn it, this is I don't need the like wall of fallen heroes for my Pikmin.
The idea behind all the Pikmin games is it's like you say, you crash land on a planet, and the planet has an ecosystem. Things just eat other things. And a lot of the time there's these big horrific creatures and whatever, and none of them are evil. They're just they're just doing their thing.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And it almost feels like you're upsetting the balance, because it's like whenever you arrive, it's like, yeah, here's a handful of Pikmin, they just kind of exist. And then by the end of like level 4, I'm commanding this Pikmin militia that just go around and like strip mine entire, ecosystems of all their resources, where I'm like, yeah, all the predators are now I am the apex predator of this land.
You even have
I don't get eaten anymore.
You have like a your combat whistle where you just have all your Pikmin and you're like, charge.
So there'll be like enemies where and it'll even have this like little cheery pop-up that it's like, attack their eyes to blind them, and then you can beat them. And it's like, Jesus Christ. And then you haul their corpse back to your spaceship and consume them to make more Pikmin. So I wasn't ready for that. That's that kind of came up. I think it's their dead eyes. You know what I mean? Like even looking at this picture here, I'm just like, they feel nothing. You know, they just consume everything and feel nothing.
I've never had I've always seen like Pikmin. I'm like, it doesn't look like like it looks like an okay game. It doesn't look like a game.
Pikmin is, in my opinion, they're a fantastic series of games. They are the hardest sell to anyone.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's not.
Just describing it.
Never
it's just like
them.
what do you? How do you sell it?
There are some games like that out there, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, as a big fan of Hunt Showdown, I'm very well familiar with games that are a hard sell. I think it's really fun. The way they sort of slowly introduce mechanics is it comes along at a really nice pace. It does the thing where it's like you have like a time constraint to where the whole game plays out in days, and every day you consume some rations basically, but you find more as you play through the levels, and it gives you this like sense of urgency, but it's not really urgent because if you're like halfway good, and I'm not very good at this game, if you're like halfway good at it, you will be just showered in resources. So it's not like you're ever actually on a time limit, but it's like, it's there. So it's like there's urgency enough that it like pushes you through the levels where you're like, oh, I really want to get this fucking kiwi back to my base before the end of the day just to get an extra ration. And I like that. The only thing I don't like is so you start off and you've got like red Pikmin, boulder Pikmin, and yellow Pikmin, right? And it's like they all do different. So red is immune to fire, yellow is immune to electric, and boulder's heavy and smash things. And it's like that's really, you can have a good amount of each of those. But then later on, they introduce other ones that's like there's a flying one, there's the blue ones which can go underwater and stuff. And I found myself having to juggle different amounts of Pikmin, and sometimes I would like get to a place and be like, I didn't bring enough rock Pikmin for this, so now I have to go back to base, do the admin of like, okay, I want 10 less red and 10 less blue so I can take 20 more rock Pikmin, and then I can go back. And that coupled with the time constraint, sometimes I felt like I would get like halfway done with an area, and then I'd be like, well, I've got like, I don't know the actual real world time. It's like mid-afternoon, I guess I'll just call it for the day. And then you have to go through this whole process of like, you get back in the rocket, you call all the Pikmin back, you'll do a little cutscene, there's a little audio, there's a little log, which is well written, but still there. And then you get out the next day, and then you have to re-summon all your Pikmin. And I was like, it gets a little much. It gets a little much sometimes. And same thing with, you have your astronaut, which is like how you control everything. But then this one gives you 2 other astronauts up like straight away.
Yeah.
And you can you use those to solve puzzles. So it'll be like, get to a place where I can't, but I can throw this guy across the gap, and then a bunch of Pikmin, and then he can carry on. And but when there are a couple of puzzles where it was like, okay, throw both the astronauts up, then the 2 astronauts that are on the ledge, you're going to grab one of those, throw them up again, so it's a third way up, and then I have to, with 100 Pikmin on the ground, I have to just sit here and watch as I one by one throw
you got to throw them all
guy,
up,
switch to him, and then throw another 100 to the next guy. And I was like, oh, come on, just give me like a quick throw all or an autopilot or something, because that was getting kind of frustrating.
I do like what I found is, because I had played Pikmin 3 before on the Wii U, and when I played this again, it was more just for like, it had been long enough that I was like, I can play this again.
Yeah.
I really liked, this is the only game that has multiple like astronauts or multiple characters.
Yeah.
And I found the like being able to do multiple things at once really good. I liked sending one guy with like 30 Pikmin somewhere to go knock down a door or something, and then hopping to someone else while they fight something, and I quite like that.
There's been a couple like that, but then I was running more and more into the like, I'd be like, okay, you take the yellows, go and beat down this electric door. I'll switch over to the other guy, and we'll go and do this other puzzle. And then at some point, I'd be like, oh yeah, yellow guy. I'd switch back to him. go like, yeah, I'm through, and then get in and be like, oh fuck, he needs rocks. Okay, now I gotta go. Okay, now we've all got to meet up, and I've got to give him the rocks, and then we can all go a different way. And it's like, yeah, if there was some kind of quick, the whole time I was playing it, I was like, a lot of the frustrations I was having with it would be solved by having a keyboard and some shortcuts.
I get what you mean. It is nice you can send the commanders to like auto move to a location.
Yes.
So they don't go there instantly, but you just tell them to walk back to base, and then you can just jump to someone else and do something else. And you know that he's heading to base.
Yeah, that's true. But I just felt like it's like the game isn't an RTS, but it's also not a million miles away from an RTS.
And
it's like
an
RTS on a console is always kind of fiddly, even if it's not really an RTS. You know what I mean?
An RTS is the easiest way to describe this game.
It's like a child's RTS almost or something.
If you were to look at Pikmin from purely like, I don't know, like an analytical eye and say give it a genre, it is an RTS game. Just a bit.
Like an RTS Lite or something. Yeah,
but there's also there's not a lot else really like it, which is why I like it so much. I can't point to.
Did you ever play
Overlord?
Oh, I was going to say Overlord, right?
Is it Overlord?
Yes, essentially.
That was the one that was like Pikmin but with little demons.
Yeah, you had little goblins instead, and they had the same. They had color codes. And it was the same kind of. It was basically. They're basically identical, from what I remember. Now I think about Overlord more and more. But yeah, I really like Pikmin. I'm gonna keep playing. I've just found it did a thing where it took all my rations away, and I had to go and it's like, oh fuck, I just got all the blues and the flying Pikmin.
Yeah,
and that's pretty fun, and it's kind of like Metroid-y or Metroidvania-esque in that you can go to any level at any time. And so now I've got the blues. I'm like, oh, I can go back to the first level because I know there was a pond there I couldn't get past. So I'm gonna go see what's on the other side of that. Probably some kind of fruit or something, but you never know. I'm glad I finally got around to playing a Pikmin game because I was always like, I bet I'd like this, and I do. So I'm glad.
You don't want to be part of the group of people that like Pikmin as a series because the series has been on hiatus now for about like over 10 years.
No, it's not. There's a mobile game.
Don't you know? I knew you were going to say that. It's like what's it called? Like Pikmin Bloom. That was it.
Isn't that that's a Pokemon Go joint? Isn't it? Like similar kind of thing.
Did I read that? You walk around and Pikmin grow where you live. That's. I don't know what else to tell you. It's
Niantic. Yeah, it's Pokemon Go guys.
Overall, would you say you Pikmin yay or Pikmin nay?
Oh, 100%. I like. Yeah. I don't know. You know, I've only rented it. I don't know how I would feel about it if I had paid a full price, 60, 70 quid or something.
That's why that's why renting games is so good with Nintendo games.
I do think I'm probably gonna like get your referral link as well for that because
I mean,
yes. If anybody wants one, you can @ me on Twitter, and I'll send it to you. It's a weird referral system where I have to put in your email address.
Yeah.
So I can't just paste a link in like the comments and be like, click here.
It's good though. It was. This is going to sound like we're like sponsored, but it was very painless. I was like, yeah. They were like, where do you want them sent, boss? And I was like, yeah, here's my address. And they were like, all right, what do you want? And I was like, yeah, Pikmin, Pokemon Snap.
Yeah.
Put some others on
for
there.
anyone wondering, the service that I've been using now for over a year and that Will's just started is called. I think it's only based in the UK. It's called Boomerang Rentals, and I've had no problems with them at all over the entire. I pay.
Will, who just had Snap.
Just send him something else instead.
But then I'd send an email like, hey, are you sending this? And they were like, oh, hey, yeah, don't worry about it. We're sending you Pikmin instead. And I was like, fine. That's
I pay.
I'll take it.
I pay. It's either £15 or £16 a month, and I get 2 games at a time. And it's also the section that's like new releases. So when a brand new game comes out, they just send me a brand new game.
I'm thinking of, this is completely off topic, I'm thinking of cancelling my Netflix subscription just because I haven't watched anything good on there in a long time.
Wait, who do you share it with?
Yeah, that's the thing. Literally everybody, Sam. Everybody's welching off my
round,
Netflix.
Yeah, and tell them all that. Oh yeah, I don't watch it, so I'm cancelling it, and then let it roll in. Be like, well, maybe if you go harsh with me, and then start making money off.
Wait,
it,
you're the payer?
Yeah, I'm the payer.
My condolences. Because I'm a leech.
That's speaking of that, that's funny. I went to visit my parents, and they were like, "Hey, can you fix our Netflix?" And I was like, "Your Netflix? You want me to fix your Netflix?" And of course, like, it's my parents, so they don't understand. They were like, "Yeah,
yeah, my Netflix.
Yeah.
What's the big deal?"
Yeah, well, I don't get. Well, yeah, what is it? And I'm like, "Yeah."
Mine is
so unappreciated.
mine's my dad's Netflix. I use my dad's. I'm such a leech. I have my dad's Netflix, my mum's Disney Plus. I have my own Amazon Prime though. That's the
Pay
one.
for all of mine. This is so bullshit.
That's what my dad
give me
uses
some of
my
your
Amazon
Netflix,
Prime.
Josh.
It's got to the point I've logged into Amazon on my dad's computer so that he can be like, I've put some things in the basket. Can you buy them? 'Cause he doesn't like pressing the buy button and then like he'll pay me the money.
Yeah.
But he doesn't like just doing it, and I'm like,
oh,
as long as you're not like,
oh, that's nice. That's sweet.
Something for $1,000.
Yeah.
Like, you know, 15 quid for a new Hoover something or other. Like, you're gonna pay me,
Go for
Dad.
it.
Fucking order it. Oh dear.
Yeah. Netflix is getting a lot of flack these days.
They are, yeah. They're adding like ads, and they're upping the price, and they're gonna make you pay extra for every extra account that logs in or something, every extra profile.
That's good for you though, because you're the one paying. People have to start giving you money.
Yeah, well, they won't though, will they?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, you're right. Yeah. Hey Will, I can't watch Netflix. Can you please pay for the additional logins, please?
Yeah, so I'm paying like £4 a month or something for one Switch game a month. But yeah, I might up that because that was so painless. My last, speaking of game rentals and stuff, my last thing was, oh no, it wasn't Netflix. What was it before? It was it Love Film?
Love Film. Yeah, I had that back in university. Yeah.
Yeah. I used to do that to farm Xbox achievements. Xbox achievements. I'd rent a bunch of games off of that.
Well, that was not. I'll have to crop that out. I just googled Love Film, and that was not what appeared. How long we've been recording? I'll make a note of that.
Damn it! I looked away from it. I was looking at
you don't look at that.
Like an idiot.
I googled Love Film, and I was that is not what you want.
Okay, to Google Love Film.
So I played. So Pikmin's great. Couple minor frustrations aside, really enjoying Pikmin. The boss fights are very cool in that game.
Big ass monsters.
Just a big ass monster. And it's just a very simple Zelda design kind of boss where it's like, smash this and then you can hurt it kind of thing.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah, I really enjoyed Pikmin. And then, the other game I played was, I thought that was all I was going to talk about. And then Keymailer came through big again, and I got sent a code for
Forgive Me Father?
Fuck. What's it called? Forgive Me Father, yeah. Which is not at all what I thought it was going to be. Oh god.
That also needs censoring. I put film.
What's that joke film?
I managed to catch you playing about 10 minutes of that game, and all I could think of was, wow, this game looks ass.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh,
I thought it looked brilliant.
Well, so it's a
again. I only caught like a 10-minute clip.
Yeah. So it's when I saw all the trailers and stuff for it, because it just came out on Steam like out of nowhere, and I was like, oh, that looks neat. It's a sort of FPS game with Darkest Dungeon kind of art. In a Cthulhu-y, Eldritch-y, Necronomicon-y kind of world, and I was expecting a kind of, if you've ever played Void Bastards.
Yes, yeah.
That's a similar where it's like cartoony graphics, but you're sort of playing like a System Shock or a Prey or a Fallout kind of thing, where you're like scavenging for resources and you're stealthing around and taking out guys quietly, or alarms go off and stuff. And I was figuring that sort of lends itself well to like a Lovecraft kind of game where you're sneaking around and killing monsters without them, alerting and stuff like that. But this game isn't that at all, which was surprising. It's Doom. It's basically Doom, but
yeah,
with this kind of cool 2D cartoon aesthetic, and it's really, really good. I really like it. It has a couple problems with pacing and checkpointing and stuff, but for the most part, it's like I've not played a game in a long time that reminds me of old shooters like Quake and Doom, but isn't like puts the effort in to make them like modern,
I think if you do a bit of digging, there's quite a few games like this. They're games that are basically, trying to aim for that Doom and Quake nostalgia.
Yeah.
But not with a modern twist, but just just different visual styles. And I think, like I say, if you dig for them, I think you can find them. They're never popular. They're never like massive.
I know there's a couple I've got my eye on. There's like Dusk is one I really want to try. And I think is it Ultra Kill was another one. Anything that it's not Devolver, is it? Or is it Devolver? I can't remember. There's a company that puts out loads of these kind of games, and so yeah, there's a couple more I want to try, because this has reminded me like, oh, this is a really fun genre, like the really fast Doom style shooter. But this has some other stuff going on, like it's got leveling and skills, and it does a cool thing where instead of finding new guns, you level up and then you go like, oh, I'll put a point in shotgun, and that changes it into a completely different kind of gun, which is cool. I like the little. It reminds me of BioShock, when you'd start off with a Tommy gun, and then by the end it's this like weird steampunk hand crank flamethrower or something.
It's very comic book. No, it looks very like
and like the presentation is top notch. It's all the monsters' designs are really cool. The music is. So the soundtrack is incredible. Like they could have just like phoned it in a bit, but it goes really. If you told me this was like, if you played the soundtrack to this game over like Doom 2016, I would be, I might not be all the way there with you, but I would be fairly convinced that this was just like a B-side of the Doom soundtrack. There's not a lot to say on it. It's got fun boss fights, fun big health bar boss fights. The shooting is satisfying. There was a couple of annoyances where I felt like I ran out of ammo, and the checkpointing is set up in such a way where like it's a save point system. So I was like, oh, whenever if I go back to this checkpoint, I still don't really have a lot of ammo, and I was playing on hard, so maybe that's all my fault. But
did you ever play Doom Eternal?
I played through Doom Eternal. I think I got to the last level and stopped.
I think Doom Eternal had a thing where the chainsaw was used to rebuild up like your ammo part. I think it was ammo.
Yeah.
And I thought that was a really good. It just reminded me of that. It was a really good way to like fix that problem.
Yeah. No, this has similar skills where there's like one. There's one ability which it's got your classic slow time. You've got your stun, and there was one where your guy just pulls out this like flaming sword, and you just go ham and start cleaving through everything, and that restores your health. But there was nothing to do with ammo. But it has this. That's the other thing. It has this cool mechanic where it's called in most like Cthulhu horror games. They'll use like madness, right? Which is where your screen gets all blurry when you look at monsters, and then eventually you pass out or some shit. But this game is like, now fuck that. The more mad you get, the more damage you do, and the less damage you take. Which is like a cool twist on the like, as long as you're always moving and killing things, you can chain your way through the level, keeping this like this thing going, and there's this cool effect where all the color washes out except for the blood, so everything's like black and white and red, like
I think when you were streaming it, I think
a
I saw
horror
that.
movie film, like an art house
Film noir.
film. Yeah, film noir. Yeah. And it's really funny. I was playing as this character. There's two characters you can play as. They have different abilities. And the character I was playing as was a journalist, and they just have the most like blasé reaction to all these horrors from beyond time and space. You know, she'll like shoot this 8-armed zombie fish crab man, and she'll just be like, "Wow, I don't know what to feel about that." And it's like, this is so. It's in some ways it's like so tonally weird, but it totally fits with like the Doom thing of like, this woman doesn't care about existential dread and her place in the universe. She's just here to kill everything. And you go through like, it's like, you know, journalist kills the Lovecraft pantheon, where you're just killing this like, oh, you know, I'd have people in chat being like, oh, that's that character from X small short story. And then you just blast it to death with a shotgun. It was great.
There was one, I think you were in like a field of corn and you were destroying zombies and blowing up God knows what, and I think she just said something like, "Huh, I don't even like corn." It's just like, okay.
I will say, watching you play this, for me, I didn't like the visual too much. Like, I like the aesthetic of it, but where your character, to me, this style looks like Doom gameplay. So I'm like old 2D Doom, and your character was zipping around, and I was like, it's too fast for the art style for me personally. It looked like a bit, you know, like it didn't fit. Like it should have been a slower paced game.
No, these games are born
no, I don't
to be
think so.
fast.
But it's like 2D like cutouts, and it looked like it's like visually it looks good to look at, like screenshots and stuff. But I say in motion, for me, it just seemed too fast for
that's how the old Dooms were. They were sprites in a 3D location.
Yeah, it just seemed, you know, but it just seemed, you know, like it was a bit too like, oh, you know, you don't even get to really appreciate the stuff because everything was going so quickly on the screen.
Yeah,
I've seen a couple people say about that. But yeah, like it looks like very interesting. Like it would be a.
Yeah, I get what you mean, because when I was saying there are some other games that are like this, if you go digging for them, they all have. One of the main similar things they have is that it's all like sprite work in the 3D location.
I don't know. I didn't have a problem with it. I thought it was. That's the, you know, I had problems.
Disconnected.
Yeah.
No, I had as much as I had some problems with like the systems. Like I had a bug where the level kept restarting instead of going to checkpoint. That was kind of annoying. I hope please fix that. There was also another bug, but they patched it as I was playing it. I logged off and it was like, oh, update, and then I looked at the patch notes and it was like, yeah, they fixed that. I can't remember what it was off the top of my head. But, so they are patching it. But one thing I could not fault at all was the presentation. I thought this game looks incredible in motion. I loved it.
Yeah, until I've started looking at these screenshots here. I didn't think of Darkest Dungeon, but now that you've said it and I'm looking at these pictures, it's really Darkest Dungeon. Really thick black lines.
Yeah.
Very like inky.
Yeah, I don't think it's all like the mode. Like some of the mode, like the reloading, like the ammo and stuff, looked really good. I'm just saying, like your character looked like he was moving too fast, or they were moving too fast, I should say.
That's fair, like, but that is that is the wheelhouse of those kind of games. Like you are supposed to be flying around at 100 miles an hour.
True.
Mowing down zombies or whatever it was. The basic enemy in that game is so cool. It's a zombie, but it's holding another head. And then if you shoot them in the head, it puts the head it's holding on its head and then carries on running after you. It's just...
That's fucking rad.
That's actually kind of cool.
That's funny. Yeah, I really like that. It's good. It's good stuff.
I'm going to push you along. What else you played this week?
That is me. I think that's me. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's me. I might come back later with something, but I'm pretty sure that's everything.
You're going to play something now and then tell us about it in half an hour.
I could do. I downloaded.
Yeah. Oh, there is more.
No, I was thinking. I've been for stream starting music and general just background music for a lot of my stuff recently. I've been using Mario Kart music because you can basically pick any Mario Kart track from the last 100 years, and they're always great. And And then I remembered that a lot of this is coming from the Mario Kart mobile game. So I downloaded that.
Oh no.
And I played a couple rounds of that. And it's weird. It's just Mario Kart. It's very odd. I might dabble more in it, but
that game was played with like monetization, like that. It was like a fun-ish game, but
people hated it.
It was like, yeah, it was up the wazoo of like, you need this pass and this pay here, and it's like,
yeah, but at the same time,
here, and here.
Yeah, but at the same time, I can boot up. I'm booting up right now.
Yeah, but they might have changed it since.
But I booted it up and I was playing Mario Kart 8 Deluxe tracks for free, just with like somewhat shitty controls that you could probably customize. They might have changed
it now, but just at launch, that was the problem with it. It was like it was monetized up the wazoo, and it was like not. It was like you needed to pay so much to even get basic stuff. And
well, fair enough. I've not really dabbled in it. I'm going to play a little bit more because I was like, it's a fun little time waster. I don't know. It looks pretty neat.
Yeah.
What have you been playing, Steve?
Well, I've played 3 games this week. I'll try not spend too long on some of them. I've played Final Fantasy 14, which I'm not going to talk about for too long. I just want to say they've added a new patch, which is basically starting a brand new story, like completely brand new, which has been interesting. But the main thing that I wanted to talk about with that was in this patch they have the 1 to 50 dungeons. They have gone through and changed a lot of them because some of the mechanics were very, very old and not very clear.
Yeah.
So they've changed those, and then also you can now do them with NPCs. So they're pushing the game more towards and every patch that they plan to do this year and slightly into next will be making the main story missions able to do with NPCs. So they're pushing the game so you can play it 100% solo if you want.
I love that. I think that's brilliant
for a Final Fantasy game. But yeah, so I've played that a little bit. The story was good, by the way. And then the other 2 games I played, well, one of them was Temtem, which just got a patch today.
What patch are we up to? Is that game out?
No, this is the final patch before the launch.
Right.
So the launch is when they're going to be on Switch, they're going to be on Xbox, and it's already out on PlayStation, PS5 and PC, but they'll be fully launched soon. But Temtem is, for those who don't know, it is basically if Pokemon was an MMO. So it's not a perfect Pokemon game, well, Pokemon style of game, but it is very good. Like every single battle in that is double battles. So that's something to get used to. But you can play single player or with a friend the whole way through if you want, which is very nice. This patch added some final polish, like all the main content is out for the game, but they added some final polish. They added like an auction house, so you can now, because getting competitive Temtems is a bit of a pain. So the auction house really adds a lot of where you can just go to the auction house and be like, I want to bet this one.
Is it all horrifically priced though?
No, it's very cheap actually.
Because my biggest problem with that game last time I played it was I couldn't afford anything. Just straight up.
In previous patches as well, they've added more ways to make money. So yeah, I'd say it's pretty close to being a really great game. It's already a really great game, but it's really close to being a great game for everyone. I would say you could get it now or maybe wait till the launch, but that's something to keep your eye on. It will have cross-platform. You can play 2 players. It's Pokemon. It's really, I'll say it's really good. And yeah, they are planning to keep it going post-launch as well. It's also just a pay once, and there's no subscription. There's no cash shop at the moment. I think they might be adding a battle pass later on at launch, but yeah, that's that one.
I think as more time passes, I really don't think I like Temtem. I bought in at the start and was like, yeah, I'll give it a go. Yeah. Any competition for Pokemon is good, right? Because Pokemon needs competition.
Yeah,
because it's so stagnant.
Yeah, exactly.
But I found it I'm not sure if I just suck at these games, but I found it really hard.
It is a little bit. I would say maybe go back when they actually launch and give it another shot.
Yeah.
They have changed a lot since I think you've last played. So,
and there was I think I mentioned it a second ago, but I came back for the patch where they added player-owned housing because I was like, oh, that's really cool. I'm always a big fan of player-owned housing, and I had played the entire game up to the point where you could finish it because it was early access. So come back later, you've done the content. And I was like, okay, cool, done everything I can, got my little bit of money. Let's go check out the player-owned housing, and I could afford a rug.
Yeah.
And that was it. And I think I grinded through some horrifically hard battle. Again, I'm bad at the game, so it might not have been that hard. But I did some hard battle. I unlocked player-owned housing, and I had a rug. And I was like, this is shit.
It's fairly true to life, right? Is that...
Yeah.
I think with
The fact that I've got a house at all is impressive.
I think with Temtem is initially they were like very much targeting like experienced Pokemon players to play it.
And that's what it felt like, yeah.
Yeah, but they have slowly over time listened to feedback and dialed down some of those like obtuse systems which were like a bit like, oh, it's a bit of a pain. People wanted
If
slightly
you're not
harder
a top
Pokemon.
100 player, you can't beat this boss.
Yeah, I was gonna say like it's still like there's still harder aspects to it. It is definitely slightly more difficult than Pokemon because that's a big complaint about Pokemon. It's too easy.
It was the WildStar problem, where we're designing our game only for the most hardcore of raiders. Wait a minute, where is everyone?
Yeah. But they have toned it down a bit, and as I said, maybe try again at launch. It probably will launch. I would guess 3 to 6 months by now, but we hope to have a release date. So yeah, I would just say keep an eye on that one.
This is going to sound so babyish, but I think after the rug ordeal, I think I like physically in my head made
this game.
I made a thing that was, I'm not touching this game ever again. Like release date be damned. I was like, no. I played every patch, and I just came away like, fuck this game.
I got to the point where I hit like you can't progress anymore, but this was very early on.
Yeah.
And then when I learned that how long it was going to take for more content to come out and how little those contents were, I decided when it is out, I will start again.
Yeah.
I will say, like, all 6 of the islands are out now. You can, like, the story is over in the game, but there'll be like some general polish features coming for the launch.
Yeah.
So yeah, maybe wait for that. Like as I say, they'll spruce it up.
Yeah, I'm a weak baby. It'll be like there'll be nothing out to play, and
you'll see like 4 of us playing.
Yeah, there'll be nothing coming out. And I would have had nothing to play, and people will be playing it, and there'll be a tweet that says Temtem out now, and I'll be like, okay, I own it, right?
Well, yeah, you'll probably see like trailers for it for like Switch and stuff.
Yeah.
So
I know, it's like I said, the rug thing really rubbed me the wrong way.
When we played it at the start, it was like, oh, there's a clothing store. Oh, there's a new backpack, and it's like 60 grand. And you look at like you faced every trainer possible, and you're there with like $300.
I have 7 Temtem dollars.
I think the problem with it is that it's definitely they're seeing it as like an MMO where it's like they expect you to go on and do your dailies every day. And it's like, no, it's a Pokemon game. People don't want to be.
Oh, that was it. Yeah, that was it.
Yeah.
That was one of the things where the rug thing. I'm going to keep bringing up this rug. I'm telling you, this
hell.
I looked online and was like, okay, then how do you get money? And there are a bunch of stuff like, well, if you've been doing your dailies. I was like, no, I'm out. Fuck this. I'm done. Not doing dailies for a Pokemon knockoff.
Why is it an MMO? What's the point in it being an MMO?
It's just you're seeing everyone. You can have they've in this update recently they've added like guild. Well, you could always be in a guild, but they've added like dojo wars where you could have like your guild fights another guild for
that's pretty cool.
for like over stuff. You can have guild housing and stuff.
The biggest plus that was there on launch was you could literally co-op. So you could go up to trainers, and your 2v2 is I use one of mine, you use one of yours, and we progress through the game together.
Oh, okay, that's cool.
And
so
you can wave at people.
There's the MMO, but it was co-op, and that was the big thing.
Like it's kind of like every Pokemon game technically almost feels like an MMO. Even though you're playing like alone, it's like, oh, you can trade and battle at any point. It feels like that, but you just see players around the world, which is kind of nice. You can be a bit more social in that game. But yeah, that was Temtem.
I've got
And
one more thing to say. One more
okay.
thing to say about Temtem. This is
The rug.
You mentioned this fucking rug again. Jesus Christ.
So the rug was no. This is purely like opinion, right? I don't think the monster designs are that good in Temtem.
Oh, I disagree.
I was gonna
there.
say, is that I haven't seen any like. There's something so charming about Pokemon that these things that you're showing me on the screen just don't do it for me. I couldn't say why.
Everyone shits on Pokemon and it's like, what the fuck, these new Pokemon designs are awful. They haven't done good designs since Gen 1, blah, blah, blah. But it's like, when you start seeing competition, you do realise that Pokemon does have a certain charm to it.
In that sense, Pokemon doesn't deserve all the hate it gets.
Mhm.
But like, as much as there are like some Temtem that you look at and like, what the fuck is that? There are some really sick Temtem.
Top 10 Temtem.
Like I saw some and I was like, right, he's an instant include. I don't care what he does, he's in my team. You know, like it has some of those on that level.
Yeah, I don't know. Every time I look at actual Temtem, I'm like, oh, you're a bit gross, aren't you? like
people are saying Whiplump.
Whip. What is a good one or bad one?
Tataroo.
Tataroo's a Final Fantasy character.
Remember any of these? Saipat. Is that a duck with like a
look at
with
this
a
thing?
fork?
Yeah.
Look at this thing. Kill me, father. It's. What was the other one? Tataroo.
Yeah.
That is Final Fantasy.
I'm getting good vibes from Saipat. Saipat.
Was it Saipat?
Saipat.
Yeah, you would have seen him.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
digging this guy. He's pretty cool.
That's a Psyduck.
It
looks good.
Look at his little helmet.
It looks good because it's stolen.
Actually, this
Yeah,
game
sorry, I
It's not Psyduck in the slightest.
No.
I
I'm
forgot
getting
Pokemon had a
confused.
monopoly on ducks.
I'm getting confused. Farfetch'd. It's a Farfetch'd.
That's not far-fetched. He's got a leak. That guy has a stick that just sort of looks
Well,
like
he has a Psy, right?
Well, I don't know. I see it.
one thing fun
There you go,
about
look.
Temtem was because it was devs. There was a fake Pokemon that people got hyped about, but then but they actually Temtem put that fake Pokemon in the game. It's called Platypet.
Platypet.
Platypet. There you go. So that was a faked Pokemon, and they actually put that whole evolution line into Temtem.
That's why it looks better than everything else in the game. 'Cause it's based on a Pokemon.
Yeah, Temtem's great.
Oh, Quaxley. But yeah. Carry on, Steve.
The last game I played. The last game I've played is Rainbow Six Siege, I'd say. There's a new map out for the Year 7, which just got released like the other day, so I've been playing a lot of that.
How are you finding it?
I am finding it wonderful, actually. The Year 7, they are addressing two of the main issues which Siege has, which is, for me, the two main issues are it's very difficult to learn Siege, and this community can be a bit garbage at times.
At times. As you watch in top left as people getting banned every 2 seconds when it says like blah blah has been banned, blah blah has been banned.
But for the first patch of Year 1, they've added attacker repick, so the attackers during the drone phase can now switch their character if they scout out correctly with their drones, which has really shifted up the game a lot.
Well, that's interesting.
A permanent team deathmatch mode where it's little, just like 3 to 4 minute matches, but you just respawn on the map constantly, and you don't get operator abilities. It's just to practice your shooting, to like warm up. It was originally called warm up, but they changed it. But yeah, they finally have added a new map after they've not added a new map since I started playing Siege at the end of Year 4, and this is Year 7. So they finally added a new map, and that's been really good. They've also changed a lot of stuff. So I'd say Siege is really it's kind of oh, Siege is great again. I've seen that, I streamed it the other day, and I had a few people say oh, actually watching it, I'm tempted to play Siege again.
Yeah, it's always there, isn't it? And it's always it's never going away. I think I'll always go back to Siege at certain points. It's always so fun.
I was gonna say I've got this up. Some of the things coming for the next year, which is they do a patch every 3 months, is you got in the next patch we should be getting the shooting range and operator tooltips. So you can actually like have a bit of like that's kind of will help you learn like, oh, you hover over something in the world in the map and be like, that's a frost mat. If you step on it, you're gonna die, you know.
I just say that's a frost map. Jump on it and find out what happens.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're like adding more anti-cheat stuff, and like they're adding a new reputation system which was coming in stages, but it's basically like, oh, if you shoot your friend, you know, shoot your teammates enough times, you will eventually get auto banned and stuff. Or if you're like if you get reported to being toxic a lot,
what if you're just bad?
You'll get like Siege isn't as bad as it was, because I remember when I first started playing, and I would play it a lot solo with random teammates. There would be like racial hate slurs and homophobic hate slurs over voice chat constantly, and I'd get killed most matches just from my teammates. I wasn't doing anything wrong. Sometimes I would just load in, and it was just how the community was. And now it's a lot better. It's like very rarely happens. So I see, but there's like a lot of Siege is like I would say this year specifically. And you had to take this with a pinch of salt, because Siege is known for we're doing stuff this year and then pushing it back. But this year it's like very exciting. It's like they seem to be fixing the main problems with Siege. So it's a game to keep an eye out, and I would highly suggest people play Siege with me. Message me on Discord. I'll play with you.
I love how the major problems of Siege are always just the people playing Siege.
The people play, the Siege players are the big.
How long
Siege,
until we get
how
long until we get like a minority report system where you start a game and then you just get banned, and the game's just like, we knew you were going to shoot your teammate, bro. We could detect by the way you were twitching your mouse and this, that, and the other. You were about to be toxic.
We could smell the Mountain Dew on your breath.
We know it's coming. Just don't even try.
But yeah, and also the newest operator for this season is Azami, who's a Japanese like mafia bodyguard almost, and like her gadget is like a kunai which she can throw, and then it will create like a bulletproof area like where she throws it. It is balanced, but it is very like fun, and a lot of people are saying like she's the most fun operator that they've added in a while. Like there's a lot you can do with her, and so it's like, oh, the future operators that we're seeing like coming from Belgium, Singapore, and Colombia. It's like, oh, you know, I'm kind of excited to see like what they're gonna do, because his army was like such like a good operator. So
Can I throw her thing at a person and lock them in like carbonite? What's it called from Star Wars?
Cement.
Metachlorians.
Yeah. All fantastic answers.
No, it's if you throw it against the surface, it will make a big circle area where it's like bulletproof.
It makes a big bang noise.
You can punch it, but you can punch it and you can explode it, but you can't shoot through it. So it doesn't like create a lot of like strategy.
You can twist it.
I don't care unless I can throw it at someone and just kill them with it directly by throwing kunai at people. That's all I care about. Let me play Naruto in Siege.
But yeah, so we should play Siege again. I'm just saying.
Oh, was this one long pitch to play Siege? Was it?
Yeah, I mean, it always was. You knew as soon as I said Siege, it was like I was going to make you guys play.
Year 7 is crazy though. It's been out for so long now. That's secondary school.
Yeah.
It's Rainbow Six Siege is in secondary school now.
It's in secondary school.
That's why it's so toxic.
We're gonna catch we're gonna catch Rainbow Six behind the bike sheds, sharing a cigarette.
You better not be smoking. You better not be smoking back there with Apex.
Playing Fortnite.
Fortnite will forever be primary school.
But yeah, that's all I've been playing this week. I did play Sea of Thieves, but there's not too much to say about Sea of Thieves. So,
right, go for it, Sam.
Right, well, carrying on from last time, I'm still playing my idle game Increlution. That's still happening.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I've over 100 hours in this now.
Oh my god!
But it's an idle game, so you have it up, right?
Yeah, I do have it up, but this isn't the type of idle game which like runs in the background. If you know what I mean. Like other ones, you close and then it carries on going while you're not playing it. Whereas this one, you have to still do stuff.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like I have actually played it for nearly 100 hours. And I've learned I am about halfway through the game.
Oh, cool.
So
another 100 hours to go.
That's wild to me that there's just like your idle game has an end that you're approaching.
Yeah. Well, they recently added in New Game Plus so that you get to the end and then you can start again, but with like extra modifiers or something. I don't know. I haven't got there, but so I'm playing that. On the recommendation of Will, I picked up Gladiator Guild Manager.
Yeah, did you like it?
So that game was interesting because I had two very different experiences back to back. When you play, you get to choose your 3 starting units.
Yeah.
So I went for a tanky melee guy, which I didn't understand was tanky against ranged weapons.
Yeah.
Which really fucked me up. I went for a healer, like ranged healer that has an attack, and then just a normal like ranged damage dealer.
Like elf woman, yeah.
And I got fucked up. Because what happens is you go against like 3 melee dudes and your tanky guy is only tanky against ranged.
Oh, did you?
guys.
I think I did exactly the same thing. That you pick one. I'm like 3 orcs. Yeah, I guess I'll fight those at the start, and then they just absolutely wipe the floor with me. Yeah, exactly.
And then so that run ended so quickly. I just couldn't fight anyone. And in my second run, I was like, well, I'm going to take these big orc dudes because they're strong in melee and they have like a block against melee attacks.
Yeah.
And then I was like, I'm going to take a ranged unit. Yeah. And then I can't even remember what my third unit is because I never used them because my entire lineup was just one ranged unit and then all orcs.
Yeah.
And I literally just smashed through everything. There was now suddenly no challenge. I found the OP unit on the second go. They'd walk in, one-shot someone, or take off like half their health. And then every time you level up, you get to spend like 5 skill points. It got to the point they still did so much damage, I just pumped their health.
Yeah.
So I'd go into like a 1v4 and they'd all wail on me, and then my guy would go, and you're dead. And you're dead. Knock you over.
But isn't that
You're
fun?
Dead.
Isn't that fun when you just break the game like in any way you want? Yeah,
but it was such a like 1 to 100 of okay, I'm gonna have a tank, a DPS, and a healer, and I'm fucked. And then just big burly boys on the front. Let's go. So I played that. That was cute. I'll play a bit more. Wait for a little bit more content.
Yeah, that's where I'm at with it. Yeah.
And the biggest thing is I said I was going to pick it up, and I've actually completed 2 runs of it.
I'm excited for this. Yeah.
I started my Final Fantasy IV free Enterprise.
Yeah.
Like Randomizer. I finished 2 runs now. I managed to. The first run took me like 3.5 hours, and the second one I managed to do in 2 hours.
Yeah.
Oh, so these are really not big time investments at all.
No, so the whole point is they're supposed to be almost like, well, they are. They're raced. They're speedrun. But I was like, oh, okay, no, I'm gonna play it, and then I'm just gonna like chill and do all the like checks and everything. And then as I was like half an hour in, I was like, I'm just playing the game, just randomized.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not playing the game. The game. The randomizer the way it's supposed to be played, which is try and finish it as fast as possible.
Yeah, you were just enjoying Final Fantasy IV.
Yeah, like I realized that like no, I need to like the point is take risks, skip looting this area, don't fight that boss, like stuff like that, which is why I managed to shave off like an hour and a half because I was like, right, well, we're just not fucking going to that mountain, fuck that place, not even going into the chests in there. And then, like, I'm pretty sure my second time round, I also got, like, a lucky seed. Where, like, you kind of easy bosses in good locations, key items early. I feel like if you gave that to a speedrunner, they'd have done it in, like, an hour.
I was going to say, are there seeds you can specifically play that people have picked? And it's like, okay, if you're new to it, here's, like, dip your toes in with this seed. It's going to be easier than normal.
It's like I was saying, So I kept calling them parameters last time, but they're called flags.
Okay.
And basically you can... One of the current flags is you only have 4 party members instead of 5.
Yeah.
That's one of the current things in the tournament, which is the custom preset that I'm using, because that's the tournament that I'm watching. but I literally just watched someone doing like another run of a preset that they do on the side for like a different like thing, and it's called press B to jump, right?
Mhm.
And it quite literally now gives you the ability to jump when you press B.
Right.
What?
So he'll go up to like a wall, press B, and then fucking Mario hops over the wall, and now he's into the next zone, and I'm like, what the fuck is going on?
That's cool.
Like,
That's really
I
cool.
didn't even know this existed. Like, what the fuck is going on? So there's like, I thought I was like starting to understand it. No. There are so many weird and different things going on. Like, I saw another guy where there was a flag called ambidextrous applied, which is every character can now wield weapons in both hands, so everyone can just dual wield.
Mm-hmm. Mad damage, basically.
It's fucking just crazy.
Yeah.
Like, they can do some weird and wild shit with it.
I might have to get this myself because it
sounds
a lot of
fun.
fun.
Yeah,
This sounds
fun.
freaky. Yeah.
Although I will say I haven't played Final Fantasy IV in a while, so I'm like I might need to like watch a few runs to like get the gist of it.
Yeah,
Because I'm
The
like,
thing, I watched it because I'm watching the tournament going on. The flags are now looking at it like they're very tame. They're hard flags because they're trying to make the speedrunners go fast and take risks.
Yeah.
But they're not like that. They have this term called power overwhelming, and in the tournament they don't want you to hit that point. They want you to have to fight the final boss underpowered, underleveled.
Yeah.
Get there as fast as possible. Not like, okay, all my guys are like level 10, but they hit for 9999. Let's just go and slap everything, you know?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Whereas, yeah, there's some wild shit that I haven't discovered. Man. So I finished some runs. I'm hoping to do. I got the weekend off. I'm hoping to do at least one more, hopefully two more.
Yeah.
mm-hmm.
But
Oh,
yeah,
that sounds interesting. Yeah.
It's nice, like doing a run and like getting that, like, because there's something. One like personal character trait about me is I rarely finish things. I get so far and then I don't finish stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's nice to have that like dopamine hit of I've finished a run. Like
It's like a roguelike almost.
Yeah. I've hit credits, I've hit the end. You know, I've completed something. And then later on in the evening, I'll then get to watch the tournament match of the people who are good at it going at it, and I'm like, that's pretty sick, and you learn things.
Yeah. That's really cool.
Yeah, I'm really like that is taking up like all my spare time. If there's a tournament match on, that's what I'm watching at the moment.
This sounds fascinating. I've never played FF4. Could I get in? Is there like an on ramp for me to get in on this?
The only issue you would have is the whole point is you go to where you would get key items in the actual game.
You won't know where they are.
And then you would get different key items. But if you say you watched a couple of runs, you'll be like, well, everyone's going up this mountain.
Yeah.
And they get a boss fight here and then they get an item. So like you would easily be like, oh, okay, I go there.
Yeah, you can work out like the meta path that most people take.
Yeah.
Okay.
I feel like if Sam becomes a speedrunner in the future, we can point back to this. And
I
this
will
moment.
say this is one of the very few times where like when you want to get good at something, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is
that's
actually
nice.
like it's the first time I'm getting that itch of like I really feel like I want to get into it, you know? Not just I'll play it for a bit and then drop it kind of deal.
I know you're not like a streamer or anything, but if you stick that on Discord streaming, I would watch that.
Ironically, if I got to the point where I wanted to take part in like join their races,
You'd have to stream
have to be streamed.
Yeah.
You never know,
Sam,
but
we
it's
got
not on the
Okay,
radar.
I'm following you on Twitch right now.
Sam,
I just want to have fun, and then we'll see where that leads.
That's how it starts, Sam.
Sam's first ever stream. Like, Will is raiding you for 50 people.
That's the thing I'm playing through, and like I still don't remember fully the layout of the dungeons. So I'm like,
Yeah.
is it this path? And I walk into a room that's a dead end, and I'm like, ah,
My frames.
my frames. That's 3 seconds. Last restart.
Save the frames. Save the end.
Do you guys have a game you'd love to speedrun if you could just like get into a speedrunning?
I would love to. I would love to speedrun a game that just the act of watching it is like, fuck, that's really cool. Like, I'd like to be really good at like speedrunning Devil May Cry or something. Yeah, like, you know, it's just like, oh my god, this guy's doing insane shit. Because like, I appreciate a 10-hour long RPG speedrun for like the endurance that comes with like doing that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But I'm more for like, I'd much prefer to do like a run that's like 30 minutes to 40 minutes. That's just insane precision.
Yeah.
See, for me, it would be I can't run the same game over and over like the exact same way. I have watched a lot of Mario 64. And I'm like,
I was gonna say Mario 64.
But
Yeah,
I think for me, it would have to be some sort of like probably Pokemon randomizer. And it would have to be a randomizer. Yeah, because I would want it different. Everything I want, like my strength, I know in games is the depth of knowledge. Like that's where I will excel at. It's not skill based. You know, I'm not going to be getting that like 0.1 second like skip that other people will work for hours. It's like I know a lot about Pokemon. I could probably muddle my way through.
Well, it's like you say it's depth of knowledge, right? But I would say that a run like that or a speed run of a randomizer comes more down to problem solving.
Well, yeah, and also as I say, because
on the fly problem solving.
Yeah, because I've done a few runs of A Link to the Past, Zelda.
Yeah,
and it's kind of like you've got to know how to solve each problem. What does this item? What checks does this unlock? You know, like I've got the hook shot. Where can I go with the hook shot? I've got the hammer. What does this unlock? So, yeah.
I'm the exact opposite. Like, I would prefer something that's pure execution over problem solving.
I'm with Steve, where I think Pokemon is a good example. Where like if it was just like Pokemon randomized, not the moves, and you say, oh, okay, I've got this Pokemon. I know it gets this move in 4 levels time, and that's really good. Like it's got really good coverage, stuff like that. Like, that's the kind of stuff that appeals to me. I don't know. Like, I think of all the games that I love, and I'm like, I don't know if I could speedrun them. Yeah. But I feel like whenever you like speedrunners say, "Oh, what do you speedrun?" Like, they have to love the game they speedrun.
Oh, I don't know about that. I've seen some people talk about how they fucking hate the game they speedrun.
I think that's then becoming like a bit of a persona. Like, oh, I hate this game, but I'm playing.
I guess so, definitely. Yeah. It's cool to hate things, isn't it?
I think like
I could see Josh being what's that? Hollow Knight. That's the kind of game I would see.
Hollow Knight's a good one.
It's like it's a very specific kind of execution I would want. It's when I say execution, I don't mean doing some one frame thing to like jump through a wall, because that's really
just mean playing the game really well and really fast.
Really good.
Yeah.
It's like I watched one of the first things I did when I finished Elden Ring was like, now I can watch the like 6 to 10 minute long speed runs and find out what's going on. And it is, definitely. It might as well be a different game because it's just so uninteresting. I don't think they actually fight anything.
I personally hate glitch speedruns. Where they like teleport to the end of the game and stuff like that. Some glitches are okay when it's like, oh, get through this wall to get to this boss quicker, stuff like that. It's like, okay, you're skipping the middleman, I see in that point, to get to the bosses. But when you skip bosses, I'm like, I'm kind of checking out now.
The Elden Ring speedrun, because I waited to finish the game before watching it because of spoilers. But the speedrun doesn't actually show the final boss.
Anything,
You basically, there's a glitch where you like zip across the map just in a straight line. And you basically you do that until you get to where the final boss is, basically. And then the final boss is loaded in. You don't see it, but the final boss is loaded in to the like system memory. And then they zip away, which removes the geometry, but keeps the boss. So the boss just falls to its death. and then they go back to like where the boss is to where the second to last boss is, and they let it kill them. And as soon as they die, credits roll because the final boss is dead, and it just triggers the ending. It's the weirdest thing.
Yeah,
that type of speedrun is like I'm like, oh, it's good to see once, but it's not so. It's like you can't really improve upon it. It's like,
I was hoping that
point.
when I saw the Elden Ring speedrun was like 6 minutes long, I was hoping to see some like stupidly fast zipping, followed by like killing the final boss with like level 1 weaponry.
yeah,
but it's not even that. It might as well be nothing.
Why Dark Souls 1, all bosses, was one of my favourite speedruns for a very long time. Because they were forced to fight each boss. And it was kind of like get Dark Bead. Haha, Dark Bead go burr.
Yeah.
But like they still had all these setups with the red tear stone ring and having to be on low health, and when you're on low health, suddenly random shit could just kill you for no reason, and that's run over and stuff like that. So like there was still risk.
Yeah.
Rather than, I've not executed this properly, restart.
The most interesting runs are the ones that you know can end in like a second if they do something wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Great for the viewer. Shit for
Yeah.
the runner.
What were you going to say, Will? You were going to say something?
No, I didn't really have anything to add. I basically was saying what you were saying. I like and what Sam was saying about. I like the all boss kill runs. I thought that was fun. Just watching someone play a game you really like really well is fun, right?
Yeah. Well,
that's like I recently watched a Hitman 3 video because there is a level where there's like 11 secret agents or something on a map. You only have to kill 5 of them, but you can kill all 11. And watching that video where this guy perfectly like sets it all up to kill all 11 in like the span of 5 seconds. It's literally like 15 minutes of setup, and then it happens, and you're just there like, oh yeah, like it was so worth it. Like the payoff.
Well, that's everyone's games for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Good job, everybody. Are you ready to talk about the news?
Yes, sir.
All right. Well, let's break into this. The first is one we wanted to talk about for a while, but it is finally here. It is World of Warcraft DragonFlight was announced. The world's or gaming's worst secret for a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
Because everyone knew what this was called, right?
Yeah. Basically, it was data mined, which is on like the official Blizzard website. So
for the record, no, I didn't know because I completely ignored all Blizzard news for like the past year. Ever since Blizzard came up, I was just there like, I don't care.
So the reception to this, at least from what I've seen, has not been great.
I've seen some mix.
Really?
I've seen some people like kind of excited for it. So.
Yeah, I've seen a mix.
Yeah.
I think all I saw was the initial reaction.
Is the dragons look dumb, and I've seen people like make their own model versions to like fix it.
I've seen a lot of that. Good. Yeah. Here's how I would have done it, kind of thing. Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to give a really quick rundown to what this is. So, we're currently in World of Warcraft Shadowlands. We're going into DragonFlight, I assume, next year. I don't think it's going to be released this year.
Yes, it's next year.
I've seen some people saying maybe this fall, but probably I don't think
that feels too soon. But anyway,
no, because Wrath of the Lich King Classic is coming out.
Yeah, 2022.
Yeah, so they will at least give it like 6 months breath from that.
So, in case you can't tell by the name DragonFlight and all the dragon imagery, they're leaning heavy into dragons. The key things they're adding is there's a whole new race of dragon characters. Yeah, I'm going to get that, Steve. There's a whole new dragon race.
Talents.
You can turn into a dragon if you're into that. And you can also play a new class, which was... What was it called? Is it just Draconic or something?
Evoker.
And you harness the different colour dragon abilities like green and red and this, that, and the other. You can play as both Horde and Alliance with this new race. So kind of like pandas, where you would pick at the end.
Mm-hmm.
New zones.
One thing to say about there is the new race can only be the one class at this one new class, and this new class can only be this new race. Like there's
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I can't be a paladin dragon.
No.
Okay.
And you can't be like a evoker gnome or something.
That would be so funny though. Yeah, they're doing. What else was it? They were doing something with abilities where you can now hold down buttons to charge moves.
This class is going to try out a new set of abilities where you can. The longer you hold down a key, it will charge it up.
Yeah.
For a lot of their moves. So
I know it's like marketing speak, but I watched a bit of their presentation, and the way they talked about that was like, we've come up with this revolutionary new system where you hold the button down to do different things, and it's like, all right, guys, come on, charge attacks. You're gonna copyright those, are you?
They also added, or they're adding, a new type of flying. So you pick a dragon, it becomes your best bud.
Yeah,
and there's
it's different actually. In this expansion, there's going to be your flying mounts won't work in this new expansion, or in the new areas at least. You will get this dragon, this special unique dragon to you very early on, and it's got like kind of, if you've ever played Guild Wars 2 mounts, it's kind of similar to that, where it's got abilities that you can like spin, dash, and dive and all sorts. But this will be the only flying mount you can use in these new areas. Yeah. And you kind of level it up as you go, and it's fully customizable as well.
Yeah, so special moves, as you grow in skill, you and your Drake will master new maneuvers. So it looks like, from what they showed, it was a lot more momentum-based, which looked cool. You had to like dive down to get speed and then pull back up. Whereas the flying in World of Warcraft currently is basically like swimming, where you just pick a direction and you move forward, backwards.
Yeah, you can turn like on a dime and stuff. There's no momentum. Yeah.
New areas. There's a bit here, if you can see on the screen, about the flying and stuff. Love bits they showed. They're redoing all the HUD, which is long overdue, but they're doing that. Talent trees, going back to those, and new professions. And not new professions, but they're changing the way that works as well.
They're making it more like Final Fantasy.
Yeah, a bit more involved. But that's the gist of it. My key takeaway with this is I'm not really sold on the expansion. And we said, well, even if the content's bad, at least we'll get a sick CG trailer out of it. And even the trailer was pants.
We didn't get a sick CG trailer.
Yeah, the trailer was of a stone man climbing a tower, and then dragons appeared.
It really looks like they've pressed the panic button, because like all the things they're introducing, it does feel like from community feedback, stuff that's been asked for a while, and they've just gone, fucking right, pick 7 of these, all of them, go.
Yeah.
They had like the Scrabble bag of
right. Specs. Okay, new class and race. Okay, hold down the button. New flying from the get go.
My takeaway from it is that like there's people who seem to be like currently still into WoW and have played WoW for a long time. There's like the talent trees, I think, is the big one, I think, that people are latching onto. But for me, the trailer was boring. Like the Shadowlands trailer was like 10 times more hype than this one. And 2, it just seemed like it should have had a few more features announced. Like we had like Torghast and the islands in the previous expansion. This one's just like,
here's a dragon.
You're gonna
there's potential, right? But it's very weak by Blizzard standards. But I don't know if I'm reverse psychologying myself, but I hope that's because the actual content is going to be a lot better.
Yeah,
they would always put their best foot forward.
Yeah, I just think you lead with your big stuff, right? And I looked at that list of features they put out, and it's like, okay, the dragons look stupid, but that maybe it's just not my thing. That's fine. Then they're like, okay, talents are back, and it's like, well, you gave really good reasons for taking those away, and I liked the current system. I thought it was fine.
Same.
I don't see bringing back talents. I don't understand why that's a bullet point. That should yeah. But anyway, so I didn't care about that, and then it's like UI overhaul. It's like, wow, my big exciting thing from a WoW expansion is a UI update.
I'm going to jump into. I'm
remove
going to
one or two add-ons now.
I was going to say I'm going to jump into this because they kept talking about UI is 18 years old and we're doing it up to look modern. Look how much better it looks, and it's you're Blizzard must understand this. You're not competing against yourself from 18 years ago. You're competing against decades worth of add-ons, and you could make the sickest UI in the world, but if it's still not better than add-ons that or Elf UI or any other add-ons, it's still not going to get used. And it just a bit in that video where it's like, oh, now you can move the mini map. It's like I've been doing that with add-ons for like 14 years.
Yeah.
It blows my mind.
Here's the big thing is, I think, finally, for the first time in ages, there's been a competitor to WoW that's actually made it shit its pants. And now that, like, I know, like we said, it feels like they haven't put their best foot forward, or if they have, it's fucking shocking. But if this is bad, like, there is a direct competitor now that is actively succeeding and thriving.
I think the damage has been done. The Final Fantasy's already taken that big chunk.
It might have, but like maybe this is like wishful thinking, even though it's like I don't really care if WoW dies. But like if this is a great expansion, I feel like WoW can like get a bit of that prestige back, I guess is the word for it.
I just think
for me
it's like
they have to hit the nail on the head this time, right? Because
this will be the third. Yeah, this is potential to be the third bad one in a row. You know what I mean? That's like never happened.
Any other game would be dead by now.
Shit. This is a sunk ship where you are reaching for the fucking whatever that ring is that people throw out. Yeah. You're reaching for that, and if you don't grab onto it this time, like this is it.
There are systems in place for when this comes out, where if subscriber numbers hit like not enough when it comes out, it auto gets put on Game Pass.
There's like a thermometer inside somewhere. Yeah,
about cross-faction dungeons and stuff like that.
They're already adding that already.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, imagine never would that have happened if they'd have held on to their
healthy player numbers. Yeah.
But then the counter to that is if they still had healthy player numbers, the gameplay and writing would be much better because that's why it has healthy player numbers.
One thing I will say that I'm still on the fence about this because I'm kind of getting the itch to play WoW, but I kind of don't want to. But one thing that I saw in interviews was for Mythic Plus actually, and this is kind of big, is for season 1 of Mythic Plus, they're going to have 4 of the new dungeons and 4 old dungeons. Even ones that haven't been Mythic Plus before. And then the next season afterwards, they're going to do the other 4 new dungeons and 4 older dungeons and kind of keep the Mythic Plus going. Because that's one complaint that people have had, is that you have like the same 8 dungeons that you're running the hard mode. Even with like the affixes to change it up, it's still you're running the same dungeons over and over again. So now they're saying with the seasons, it's going to be changing a lot, which will, if you like that hardcore 5-man content, that's really big news for you.
But is that we've been running the same dungeons for a really long time now? Like them bringing back old ones doesn't excite me.
Well, it will be like with different affixes, and they said they probably won't be any Shadowlands ones in the season, but it will be like fan favorite dungeons. So in this kind of like, you know, rather than running like the same 8.
I can appreciate 10 that
for later on. Like it's more just mix it up and then mix up the loot pools and.
I get the impression this expansion is going to run as far away from Shadowlands as it can when it comes out because there's so much bad.
What's been worse received, Shadowlands or BFA?
I think Shadowlands.
No, for me, I think the worst one was Draenor.
WoD.
WoD Draenor was bad. Yeah.
Okay, but I meant specifically of the last 2. Like if they were going to get away, because that's what people said. Like, oh, Shadowlands is going to get away from BFA, right, as much as possible.
Shadowlands was at least an interesting concept. In
Here's
terms
the
of
thing.
like location.
During Shadowlands, people looked back at BFA and went, "Oh, we don't know how good."
Look how good we
Oh,
are.
wow, okay, I didn't know that. I didn't know that.
I think BFA at launch was worse, but Shadowlands had more controversy with the Covenants.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
So
suppose.
It depends on
Well,
like,
Shadowlands
if you're-
also had Blizzard imploding at the same time alongside it,
Yeah.
didn't it?
Yeah,
So-
Shadowlands
that was
didn't
after
have
launch,
a
though.
middle and an end. It felt like it just
Yeah.
had the start.
Yeah, if it just
That's very poignant. That's a good way to put it. It never got going. Yeah.
this expansion for me kind of feels like the monkey paw curling, because in terms of story, it's simple, but it's like we're getting away from big bads, at least for now. It's just a new location with some new shit going on to have some new interesting adventures. And I'm like, that's cool. I can get behind that. And then the monkey paw curling is, oh, by the way, it's all about dragons. And I'm like, oh,
I see it.
for me, dragons is the least interesting thing they could do. I don't care. I
talked about this.
I don't care for it
stream
at
a
all.
little.
Yeah.
So here's the one thing I thought of the other day was, when was the last time Blizzard did a villain to just be a villain?
I can't answer that question. I do not know.
Because
You
like
didn't know
they've
being
been-
the jailer?
no, but then didn't you beat the jailer and then he goes, "Oh, I was trying to protect us from."
Yeah, I see what
No,
you mean.
they've been chasing their their Thanos for fucking 20 years or something, right? Ever since
Yeah.
Arthas,
Yeah.
and they just never.
And then the only character I could think of was Garrosh, who even when you went and saw him in death and went and saw his spirit, he just turned around and went, "Yeah, I'd fucking do it again." And what?
Yeah.
Like that guy did what he did and was
Yeah.
like, "I'll fucking do it again." If I
I
need to."
respect you because you
Wouldn't
stand by
Sargeras
your.
as well?
I get,
Yeah, but wasn't also Sargeras trying to protect us from the Void Lords or something?
Oh,
again,
who cares?
This is what my point is. They keep having these big bads, and then they're like, "Oh no, I must amass the most powerful force in order to fight
Yeah.
the actual evil." And
Yeah,
it's like,
yeah.
no, just be a dick for being a dick. Like Syed Anathrius was just an absolute cunt, and I kind of liked him, to be honest.
Yeah,
I
he was
think-
But
fun, yeah.
he wasn't the villain. He was like the villain of the week. You know what I mean?
Well,
He's the first one.
It really talking about this aspect in particular really it points out the difference between Final Fantasy XIV and World of Warcraft, because the villains in FF14 are amazing. They're so well written. To the point where they're some of the best characters in Final Fantasy. Full stop.
Yeah.
In my opinion, Shadowbringers, Final Fantasy XIV has got some amazing villains and writing, and then it's just World of Warcraft is just, I don't know. It always feels like it's retreading the same story of, oh, I'm a bad guy,
that
oh,
was
I'm
the
actually a
issue.
good guy.
I need to go back and play Warcraft 3, because that was for me, that was the peak of the series, right?
Yeah.
Warcraft 3 and Frozen Throne. That story was awesome, but I was 11, so.
But that's the thing. Again, wasn't Lich King was actually just he was just a dude, right? He wasn't trying to protect the world.
He was a man that found a helmet and a sword.
He got power, and then he just wanted to control everything. And
Wasn't
that's why I
there-
think everyone loved him.
Wasn't there something about there has to be a Lich King or undead takes over everything or something?
Something like that.
They wrote that in somewhere.
Or what's his name? The other fire guy.
He's evil, but he's kind of evil middle management. That
Unnecessary
I
evil.
think there must always be a Lich King, but whoever is the Lich King can fight against the powers.
It's kind of an asshole. Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't know. It's been a while since I've paid attention to WoW's story.
Yeah.
Or it's basically guaranteed that this expansion will be good because I'm not going to play it, which means it'll be a good one.
Oh, I'll be playing
yeah,
on release, absolutely.
I can't.
But
I can't keep doing it.
This is the first one where nothing appealed to me about this trailer.
It's
or
still
this
not even
setup.
out in alpha
For
though.
me, it's now or never. Right? There isn't another expansion after Dragonflight unless this one's good.
No, they'll keep going. If Guild Wars 2 gets expansions, this will keep getting.
I choose never.
But this is the first one where I'm nothing about this appeals to me. I'm just gonna sit this one out. I just don't care for it at all.
Yeah,
And
no,
like
that's
maybe
fine.
that could change. They might announce something that's like
No, you'll see like 6 of us playing and then being like, I guess I could.
yeah, maybe maybe. I have been missing hanging out and playing games with you guys recently,
I-
but I
yeah.
think we could do that with anything. you know?
I strongly believe that
Is-
the only way I'll end up playing this is if it is thrust upon me with Game Pass, which isn't impossible. It's unlikely. But now that
No, we
Microsoft are owning
just
everything.
need to get Laura in, and then you're in.
she would never play this.
No, I know. But, yeah, WoW is just such an easy excuse to just like log in and play.
hang out. Yeah.
Like it's so
Yeah.
easy to do. Whereas like sometimes it's like, yeah, I want to play with my friends. But like sometimes I do just want to chill out and watch TV for 3 hours and not have to be a human being. Like
We have
and
Vampire Survivors for that now, though. Sam.
WoW gives you that such easy option of if I'm logged on, I want to do stuff. If I'm not, I don't.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's
But
just
yeah.
my time these days is limited to the point where I'm very picky with what I play.
Trust me, mate. I
Yeah.
know.
It's just like I think Steve Steve mentioned at one point where it's like, oh yeah, Guild Wars 2 is a good game to play if you just want to play it just to play a game. It's like, I don't have time to play games just to play a game. I need to like finish shit.
I like that Sam has the I've got to be picky with my games these days, but also comes back and says he's put 50 hours into an idle game.
It's just one of those things where it's like I get home and all I want to do is watch stuff. I don't want to play.
I know.
So
Yeah, I
I
know.
it on
I've
the
been
other
there.
screen.
I like, yeah. I'm the same where I'm like, finally, time to get some productive work done, and then I just watch fucking dumb YouTube videos for like 3 hours, and I'm like, why did I do that?
Can you beat FF9 while only being trans? Because that's being recommended to me at the moment, and everyone else apparently.
I just clicked a link. It said every 40k faction explained in 10 minutes, and I'm like, yeah, all right, I guess.
Yeah, exactly.
I've been watching so many like comic book 10-minute long videos where it's like, I know nothing about comics. It's
This
like,
character explained, yeah.
top
yeah.
10 times Deadpool killed X-Men. Okay.
Yeah,
Why
yeah,
not?
I've seen that. Shaolin Showdown, for some reason, has been recommended to me in mass amounts, and I don't understand why.
Top 10 times
I
Xavier
what-
killed the Avengers. Okay.
I see what we were talking about, like speedrunning earlier. I've watched a couple of videos, not many. I don't think I'm going fully down the rabbit hole yet, but I've watched a couple of videos of people playing Pokemon competitively and explaining what they're doing and like why they're doing it. And it's fascinating. There is so much more depth to that combat than I ever thought there would be. It's incredible. And this is like shitty, like, 4th gen as well, where it's not even like duos or they have any crazy mechanics or anything. It's like, no, he's like, okay, if I switch to this guy, he's going to use this move and then it'll, dud it so I can use my move in response. And I'm like, I did not expect any of this. This is great.
Yeah, no, Pokemon's great. We'll have to battle some point, Will.
Oh no, I'm not going to play it. Good lord, no
No,
way.
Will's all in.
Battle me.
I'm just looking through these screenshots now of the 5 new zones, the expansion, and they're all trees on fields with a different color scheme.
Yeah.
But just
That's what I was saying. Even when I was looking at the key art stuff, I was like, none of that's particularly like wowing me. Wowing me. Yeah, there it is.
Nice. Moving
Alright, let's
on.
move
Next
on.
story. What have we got here? Future Xbox games might have ads. With PlayStation was saying they were doing something similar as well.
No.
I don't have much to say about this. Besides the
yeah.
fact that it sucks.
I will say, if they're going to do this, they better make the games cheaper.
I mean, this just
That's all
feels like...
I'm fine if they have ads, if they make the games cheaper, but I do not want to pay like, £60 for a game and it's advertising.
Yeah, I mean, they won't, but yeah, I see where you're coming
Yeah.
from. Yeah, because for the longest time, we've just heard over and over again, games are so expensive to make these days, which is like true, but also kind of not true because more people are buying games than ever, and it's not like, and digitally as well, so it's not like you need physical manufacturing or anything. So yeah, so it's like, okay, well, put some billboards in my racing game then with some Monster Energy adverts or something. But it won't ever help us. It will just make more money for whoever's putting those ads in.
Is this the natural evolution of just games on Game Pass being, £8 a month to play everything brand new?
Yeah, I think yeah.
Game Pass, I'm like, go for it. Add ads to it. I just don't want games that are like, it's exclusive to this console or this platform, and it's like you have to pay full price, and then it's like bombarding you with ads. Because it also depends on how they do the ads. Because sometimes like you log into a game and it's like you get bombarded with like 10 pop-ups being like, go here, click this, buy this, do this. And it's like, no, get out of my face, let me just play the game.
It's like Master Chief opening a can of Dr. Pepper and just pouring it on his helmet and being like, refreshing.
Master Chief, except he's got those stickers like a Formula One car,
If they meme it, I'm all for it. But if it's just like it's a billboard or a pop-up, I'm just like, no, well, billboards would be fine. If it's like a pop-up that's in your face and it's like you have to click off of it, and it's like,
Depends on the game, because if you're playing like FIFA or something, and you watch a lot of football in real life anyway, that has real life adverts everywhere.
Yeah, because they do fake ads, don't they?
Yeah, so if you're doing fake ads in games anyway, yeah, put real ads there, whatever, I don't care. But if I'm playing like I said, like if I'm playing Halo, and there's a fucking billboard in the background that says like, Pepsi.
I don't want to be like playing Mario and go like, oh, we're going to McDonald's World now. I'm loving it.
You throw Cappy on Ronald McDonald, and you can take Ronald McDonald's powers, whatever they are. Oh, mamma mia!
It's like, oh, look, Mario's going to enjoy now his Whopper. You can buy one too with this referral code link.
He's just got a Big Mac. And he's just like, let's go. And it's just, you have to sit there and watch for 5 minutes as Mario just eats a Big Mac.
Making like the yummy sounds, like, delicious.
Yeah, I like the new Mario game, but the bit where it was 5 minutes of Mario eating a burger ASMR was a bit weird. I got nothing else to add to that. Just it sucks, but it's probably going to happen.
I thought it was just an interesting headline.
Next one. Portal writer says he wants to start Portal 3 because he's not getting any younger.
Yeah, this was basically just Eric Warpaw, who left Valve a little while back, but now like just writes for them on the side or something. I'm not quite sure. Because he's also done some other stuff as well.
Yeah, he worked on like Half-Life Alyx and stuff like that.
Yeah,
so he's
he's still writing for them. Yeah, I just don't think he's actively employed, maybe, or something. But yeah, he just said, I would love to do Portal 3. I think it would be a big hit. It probably won't make CS:GO money, but nothing does. So
Portal 3,
please just let me.
Portal 3 would sell so well.
Yeah, it would. Yeah.
See, I was on board with it until the line of that article being, because I'm not getting any younger. I'm just like, oh, get over yourself. Like that. I'm not
midlife crisis.
That's my Temtem rug. Is that like, oh no, you lost me with that one line.
Don't get me started on the Temtem rug.
Why? He just wants to. It's his baby, and he wants to write.
I know, but like, be passionate about it, not just because I'm not getting any younger.
Yeah, but it's not up to him. That's his way of saying it's now or never.
Like,
yeah, I know.
He could. Okay. He could ring a few people that he knows in the industry, make a group of like, I don't know, 12 to 15 people, and kickstart Portal 3 in everything other than name, and get millions. I don't feel like I'm crazy for saying that, right? It feels like if he wants to make it, he could probably make it. I feel like he has enough clout to attract money to make the game he wants to make, unless he specifically wants to carry on the Portal story. He doesn't want to make a game.
Yeah, I think he does. Yeah, I think he does. It's his baby. He wants to carry on writing for it. Yeah.
I mean, this article will drum up hype for that, so you'll get people being like, "Oh yeah, let him do it," and so there's probably he doesn't need a Kickstarter. He just needs a news article, and he'll probably.
I'm all for it. I love
Portal.
Portal.
The thing he says, "This is my message to whoever," as if to say like he doesn't even know.
Yeah. Please, someone help me make Portal 3. No, I would like. Did you all play Portal 2?
Then CD Projekt Red are like, we'll help you, and he's like, nope, I'm out.
Yeah, don't want your help, Christ.
Blizzard, nope. Next.
Portal Writer says he wants to start Portal 3 with anyone except CD Projekt Red because he says I'm not stupid.
Oh god.
Yeah, Portal 2 was great. I love Portal 2. I think I need to play it again because I haven't played it in like a decade.
I've never played a Portal game. I've
What?
seen them being played. I'm always like, oh, it looks fun to play with a friend, and just no one plays with me.
Or like pop
You play with
culture of
people all the time.
Yeah, you could drum up people to play in 2 seconds.
I don't own it as well. It would be like, if someone was willing to be like, oh yeah, I'll play through the entirety of the game with you. You know, I'll be like, okay, I'll buy it. Let's go.
It's like there's lots of stuff in it, like Cake is a Lie or whatever, which is pop culture of back then. But that aside, they're just very good games as well.
Yeah.
They're very humorous, very fun.
And Eric Walport is a very good writer. I always remember he did an article back in the day where he outlined a start to crate metric where you could measure a game's quality by how soon after getting into the game did you see a crate, because that meant the designer had already run out of ideas. When they just drop a barrel, like a crate somewhere in the level. As a
red barrel.
Yeah. It's a really good read.
I've never thought about that. Yeah,
that's high level.
It's very tongue in cheek, but it's very funny. It's a very funny read.
Right. Okay. Next story. Next slide, please. Sega developing apparently big budget Jet Set Radio and Crazy Taxi.
Oh, so Jet Set Radio. That game was so fun to play back in the day.
Yeah.
And I don't know if that game works now.
Well, that was the thought I had with this story, which the idea of big budget Crazy Taxi. What is that? Can you make a big budget Crazy Taxi? Essentially, it's just drive here, pick up people.
Probably graphics wise, right? I'm assuming.
Yeah, but a graphical increase. More big budget makes me think that they want to expand the scope, right? And then say you take Crazy Taxi and start allowing you to get out of the car and do this, that, and the other. At that point, is it still Crazy Taxi?
No, it should be Simpsons Hit and Run instead.
Well, Simpsons Hit and Run, you could get out of the car and do basic stuff. But then I would argue that Simpsons Hit and Run is not an elaborate Crazy Taxi. It's a simplified GTA. I don't really know where I'm going with this.
When I saw big budget, and then for me it was Jet Set Radio because of how much I loved that game as a kid.
Yeah.
But I was like, I don't think like that would work.
Well,
but maybe it will. I don't. Who's it for? Is it for me? Because I played them as a kid.
It's got to be for.
So I don't think that's for today's kids.
Nostalgia bait, right?
No, I think it's for me, so I can use the music for my stream.
Yeah.
And now big budget means they're going to have Nicki Minaj and
oh god,
Eminem doing tracks for it or something.
Nicki Minaj and Eminem.
I don't know.
Together at last.
I don't know whose music.
I don't. I think.
I hope it comes out and it's a fucking banger.
Yeah,
because I did love Jet Set Radio as a kid.
I don't think it
has a place.
It's not in this story's headline, at least, but I think some of the stuff I was reading, it says it was saying we're developing big budget Jet Set Radio and Crazy Taxi, but we can cancel them at any point. So get hype, but don't. It's almost like it's like a backhanded compliment, like a threat. Yeah, it's like you want this cool shit. Well, we're doing it, but we could take it away at any point. Yeah, that was that one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, a couple of small stories really quickly. I'll race through these because no one plays them. No Man's Sky, another update.
Yeah, no one plays No Man's
They're
Sky.
still going. I just thought that was impressive.
I believe Erin was playing that the other day.
Oh, really? What I hear about these...
she saw this update and she wanted to check it out. She's enjoying it. I think she has the same problem with that I had, but it doesn't bother her as much. Where like all this stuff they add is just like side stuff.
Yes.
And then the core game is still like a lot
sucks.
of running around and mining rock. Well, yeah, it sucks. Yeah, it sucks.
Yeah. That's what I hear every time this something like this comes out, because they do an update now, like every 3-4 months. It feels like. The comments are always the same. where it's all of this new stuff they add is always really skin deep, and the actual the game itself has fundamental issues that can't really be fixed. I kind of feel like, what's the guy's name? Sean something, the guy that owns
Sean Murray.
I kind of want to grab him at this point and be like, okay, we get it. You did it. You saved No Man's Sky. I forgive you.
I think at this point you're either like in and you're okay with these updates, or you're never going to be okay with the state that No Man's Sky launched in. And it's like they're not winning anyone new over.
Exactly.
But also, I mean, it is cool they're supporting it all this time. But then at the same time, you're like, yeah, fucking should do, shouldn't they?
Yeah. Well, I feel like we're at the point now where someone needs to just hug Sean Murray and be like, it's okay.
Let's move on. Let it go.
The collective gaming community forgive you. You took your shit game and you made it playable. Make No Man's Sky 2 and don't lie about it.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's
No, it can't be No Man's Sky 2. I think they would need to do something different and then go back to No Man's Sky 2 later on. What's
the game of the guy on a motorbike that they made? Joe Danger. Yeah. Make No Man's Joe Danger. Send him into space.
There you go, Sean Murray.
Yeah, that one's for free, Sean Murray.
You can have that one.
But yeah, for anyone that hasn't seen it, there's an Internet Historian video about No Man's Sky. I think it's called Yes, Woman's Land. That is a really good video. I highly recommend that. Next one, you've got Witcher 3 was getting a next-gen version, and they're evaluating the scope, and they've postponed it from Q2 of this year to just it's gone. It'll come out when it's ready.
Yep, that's fine.
That's fine. Yep, fine with that. It's just an update, really.
No surprises there.
Just thought that was big enough news. Next one, this is a weird one. Jason Momoa to star in the Minecraft movie.
Not something I expected to read, but I guess okay.
So bizarre.
Voice or himself?
Well, I assume he'll be Minecraft Steve. Right?
No, I'm going to be Minecraft Steve.
What the fuck is a Minecraft movie? It has to. It has to be parody, right?
No. They did the Minecraft not point and click QT game. What was it?
Tales. No. Oh fuck.
Yeah. Tales of the Minecraft. I know what you mean. It's the Telltale one.
I watched a Let's Play of that.
Thank you.
Yeah, I enjoyed a Let's Play of that. I was like, oh, it's actually kind of interesting, like that kind of but
I get
Minecraft with a story.
Yeah, I get what you mean. I'm not saying I'm against, not against anything, but a Minecraft more serious story, fine. But that's still a game. It's still blocky characters. It's still, Yeah. This is Jason Momoa in a Minecraft movie. It's just.
I don't know. Well, Chris Pratt can be Mario, Jason Momoa can be Minecraft Steve.
It's just you go around punching trees, and then just
Jason Momoa, probably.
I hope the movie is just straight up what a Minecraft play session is, but just with actual actors and actresses,
and in real life as well.
and it's all real life. There's no CG. It's Jason Momoa walking around a field. He punches a tree. It starts turning to nighttime, so he digs a hole in the ground and buries himself until daytime comes around.
Yes. Okay, now I'm in.
He wakes back up and builds a shitty house of 5x5 wood.
Give it whatever award it wants, like the Grammy, the Oscar, whatever it is for movies.
There is so much you could probably still do with Minecraft, but a real life movie version is the furthest thing I could think of.
I think I'm not sure if it's confirmed if it's real life or if it is CG, but my head goes to it being real because I'm Jason Momoa kind of looks like Minecraft Steve.
Jason Momoa, his big selling feature is his looks, right?
Yeah, and he looks like, he kind of looks like Minecraft Steve. Yeah, sure, why not? Let's go. Let's go with it. Yeah, I'll see that at cinema. I will see that and report back to everybody.
Yeah, I think I'll go see that at the cinema. I mean, why not?
It'll be a laugh. What else we got? There's only a few more stories left. Xenoblade Chronicles 3.
Yeah.
Got a new trailer and it was pulled forward.
I'd like to see that.
Okay.
I'd love to see that.
Yeah, in the rare situation where games are normally
That
delayed.
never happens. Yeah.
It was booked for September and now it's 29th of July.
I saw on Twitter they were Nintendo's Twitter were like advertising this, and they were basically like, oh, because every Xenoblade Chronicles game has a unique gimmick, and this one seems to be a male and a female humanoid pair, like can combine into like female mech, almost like warriors.
So from what I understand, I didn't know if it was specifically male and female, but two characters combined to make a mech. Which
and there was like 3 pairs or something. I'm not sure. One was a tank, one was a healer, one was like a ranged DPS or something like that.
Well, it makes sense because every other Xenoblade game is 3 party members and occasionally a guest. And this is the first one where it's 6 party members and a guest. I thought like, oh, that's a shitload of people. But if you spend most of the fight like pairing up to do mech attacks,
they do their fusion dance.
Yeah, I guess it's still a party of 3, kind of. I don't know. I watched the new trailer for this. I thought it looked awesome. It looks much more like Xenoblade 1 than 2, which is all it's all thumbs up from me because the first one's way better.
Oh no, I've only played Xenoblade 2 and I've not finished it, but I love it to bits.
Oh, the first one is really good. The first one has a remaster on Switch as well.
I do have the 3DS version of that, I believe, and I haven't played it.
Yeah, it had a version that only came out on the new 3DS.
Yes, I have that one, and I was like, oh, the buttons and map are too small. I can barely see shit on this tiny screen.
But yeah, I'm all for this game. Laura's really excited as well. She loves Xenoblade. It's got bits and pieces from the first 2 games, where it's got the kind of like wing-eared characters and also the cat characters.
I was gonna say, even though it's a new world every single time, you see like the logo for it and you see like the screenshots in the game, you're like, well, this is just Xenoblade 2.
Also, Xenoblade 2 doesn't tie in much to number 1, but they do tie in.
There is a slight tie in. I got to that point in the game.
Yeah, they do tie in, so really excited for that. Solid RPG. And that's been brought forward. It's always good. July 29th. Yes. You've got... What else? We've got Sonic Origins. Anyone care about Sonic?
I have seen some controversy about this.
So, it's a re-release of, I think, like 4 of the games.
Oh, yeah. Like the 4 base main games, I would think.
Yes, 1, 2, Sonic and Knuckles, and Sonic CD. The reason it's controversial is because of this.
There, that screenshot, right there.
Do you remember this from like 10 years ago, maybe even longer, where every game that came out had like 50 editions, and you were like, what the fuck you had to have a graph like this to work stuff out. I was talking to Will about it earlier, about like all the old Assassin's Creed games, and every single one of those that came out, it would be like this, where it would have like 50 million versions, and you're like, oh, what do I do? This, that, and the other.
But like, so you still get this on occasion sometimes, especially for like MMOs and stuff.
Yeah.
But the thing that I think is very bad is you look through some of the unlocks and it's like, oh, the hard missions are unlocked via this specific pack, and the mirror mode is unlocked via this specific pack, and menu animations for some reason.
Animations.
I thought we left all of this behind, but apparently not.
We just haven't. We're back to it apparently.
And hopefully they see how bullshit it is and change it. But yeah, at the moment it's kind of bad.
Yeah, I think there's also part of me as well, which is just like, I think there is like a refreshed mode of the games where they look a bit different and stuff, but like selling even just a pack of a few ROMs for money is kind of like, oh
yeah. There's not even a pack which gives you it's like, no, to get everything, you need to buy at least 2 different packs, the Digital Deluxe and the Start Dash pack. Oh yeah, for those who don't know, I guess because for audio listeners, we've got a graph with like, the main game is in these 2 packs, and you get bonus coins with this one, hard mode with this one. There's like 5 different packs, and it's crazy. It shouldn't be happening in 2022.
My thing was just, I assume the fact that it's got a Digital Deluxe version makes me think it's going to be at least a premium price product.
Yeah,
and it's 4 old Sonic games.
Yeah,
I don't know. It's
too much.
It is a bit much. But yeah, that'll probably be okay. Besides the price, unless hopefully it's not full price. But Sonic is Sonic. Very last one.
Announced today.
Literally announced today. We're recording this on Friday, 22nd. Splatoon 3 has a release date of September 9th.
Yeah.
When I saw this, I thought maybe this might have been what affected the Xenoblade release. Maybe didn't want them to clash at the same time because Xenoblade was also September. I'm gonna buy this. I love Splatoon.
It's been a while since I've seen news about this, but I think I remember seeing they're basically that everything is new in this, like new weapons and stuff. And,
there's I think it's got all the old
ultimates.
weapons, but also there's a big emphasis on bow and arrows and stuff like that. The problem with this is just the same as all these types of games, which is I just wish they weren't locked to the Switch.
Put it on PC.
If this was on PC, I would play this every day. I love Splatoon.
See, I usually agree with you, but for this one, it's motion controls, and I feel like they have to redo the whole game, and then it kind of take out some of the charm.
It's kind of motion controls. It's you aim
your camera,
you do aim with the right analog stick, but you do fine tuning with motion, and it actually works quite well.
But you just make that mouse instead.
Exactly. I'm not saying Steve is saying you can't do it. I'm all for it.
I'm just saying it's at the moment it's it kind of works out. Although I will say my younger cousin who tries to play it, she likes playing Splatoon 2.
Yeah.
But oftentimes because she's still newer to console gaming,
a baby,
she's aiming at the floor constantly while running because she's not used to moving the motion controls at the same time.
Yeah.
So I could maybe see them retooling it, hopefully putting it on PC, but it's Nintendo.
I don't think it'll ever be on PC. It's just me wishful thinking. But Splatoon 2 was really good. I really enjoyed Splatoon 2. Splatoon 2 came out when a lot of Wii U games were being ported over directly.
Yes.
And when they showed Splatoon footage, I was like, oh cool, they're porting Splatoon. But they just straight out made a sequel, and the sequel was really good.
Yeah, one thing I do hope is because from the original you had the Kali and Mari with their Stay Fresh, and that was iconic. And then whatever, I can't remember the crap they did for the second one. I'm like, no, bring back Stay Fresh.
What was it? It was
make it
something in Marina.
Yeah,
little gremlin.
Those two were less people fell in love with the first two, and then they also had a different catchphrase, and it was no, Stay Fresh was just easy. It was this one was, I can't remember what it was.
Something, stay in the beat, or something, or other, I don't know. They were still cool characters though.
Yeah, they were still cool, but it's just give people things to latch on to easier.
Yeah. Well, Kali and Mari and the other two will be in Splatoon 3 with probably 2 other brand new characters. You'll now have 6.
Oh wait, the Splatoon 2 catchphrase was "Don't get cooked, stay off the hook."
That was it.
That was dumb, dumb AF.
I can just see Will and Sam sitting here right now, being like, "What the fuck? What are you guys talking about?" Has anyone else got any more news they want to talk about, or is that us done for the week?
I think that's it.
I'm good. Yeah, I'm good. I got nothing. I'm out.
Yeah.
Oh, that was a lot of news to catch up on.
I missed you guys. I missed you guys last week.
Oh, I missed you too.
It was. We had a whole. We couldn't make it work, could we? It was Easter scheduling. I was on a boat in the Caribbean.
My rota changed 4 times last week.
When because like I said, we're recording this today on Friday, as opposed to the normal day Sunday. When I found out I couldn't do Sunday this week, I was like, oh, we could do Friday. Sam's not going to get Friday. He's always working on Fridays. But you could, and it worked.
Yeah. For now.
For now. I guess the fact that we're doing this a little bit early, I assume the biggest news in the world will get dropped tomorrow.
No, in an hour.
PlayStation 6 announced. Oh my god.
No, it'll be the Switch Pro, and that will be like big PC connectivity.
Wow, to come to Game Pass the next expansion.
I would buy a Switch Pro immediately. I don't think I've mentioned it today on this podcast, but I mentioned it on the streams earlier today. My Switch is basically dead. It is on life support. The fan is completely broken. It overheats after like 20-25 minutes and turns itself off. And
Rip. And you use that a lot as well, so
there's not a lot coming out now for a while. I've got until July, which is Xenoblade. But then Laura's got a Switch anyway, so I'll just use hers, I guess. I like having my own. It's my Switch. Alright, should we wrap this up then?
Yeah.
Okay, well thank you for listening, everybody. We went on a little bit longer today, but we had more news and games to catch up with.
So a lot to talk about,
We have a lot to talk about. As always, you can find me on Twitch and Twitter at BottlerWorks, and you can follow the official at the Game FourCast on Twitter as well. Where can we find you, Will?
Hello, I'm Olive Meister on basically everything. Some variation of that. You'll find me if you really
It's
try.
below.
Oh, yeah, it'll be below as well, yeah.
Steve?
Hi, I'm Quikwix. That's QUIKWIX on Twitch, Twitter, and Instagram.
And Sam?
I'm Sam, and I may actually have to think about giving out socials at some point. Get into racing FF4.
That's
Yes!
S4MM3H on Twitter. Go follow him.
Doxed.
He retweeted something like a week ago.
I did.
He's active.
He's doing stuff. Yeah.
They grow up so fast. I'm going to
You'll
cry.
get him being an influencer in no time.
What did I retweet? I need to go.
You retweeted that joke about. By the way, I mean, no one's going to do this, but I'm sure everyone's retweeting this skill up tweet that says like, what's the point in Game of the Year this time? It's so obviously already been won by Vampire Survivors. And I'm pretty sure I made that joke after Vampire Survivors the week we talked about it. I'm going to go back and find it.
My God, Will, you're so funny. Everyone should credit you.
I want my credit, damn it.
You're the funniest guy I know. Does that make you feel better?
Yeah, it does. It does
Okay.
actually.
Bye, everybody.
Bye all. Bye.
Bye.